legacy, but it's a call to action, to live his teachings, to serve with love and compassion, and to see the divine in every being, including ourselves. Our conference over the last 2 days has inspired all of us to make a renewed commitment to serving his mission. On the first day, we had the opportunity to delve deep into his message of infinite love. On the second day, we explored facets of his message of service and learned about very inspiring opportunities, projects across the United States. And with this foundation of love and service, today, we will explore the concept of self-transformation and how self-transformation will aid us in the realization of oneness. So, just trying to see if we have the slides up yet. No? Okay. No. It's on the SharePoint in the folder. Yeah. Sorry, we're having some technical issues. So the first program this morning is a power-packed debate. If your first cup of coffee didn't wake you up, this sure will. Have you ever pondered if you thrive in collective energy or in quiet contemplation? Is your soul best nurtured in a community or in solitude? The next segment this morning is a friendly and respectful debate that provides a deeper insight into both these paths. You will have the opportunity to hear from passionate voices with lived experience. Our moderator for this morning is Brother Sai Santosh from Atlanta. He's very passionate about rescuing and rehabilitating farm animals from difficult and stressful situations. In his free time, he absolutely loves bringing kids and YAs to the farms to help them reconnect with nature. In his experience, the animal kingdom teaches us the greatest sadhana lesson every day, that there is only now, the omnipresent now. So I'd like to invite Brother Sai Santosh. Please take it away. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Sai Ram, everyone. Sai Ram, everyone. Sai Ram, everyone. Awesome. Looks like everybody's awake, had a good breakfast. I'm so grateful to Swami for this wonderful conference that we have had for the last 3 days with some amazing workshops, talks, and the most incredible place that we saw yesterday from the SSC and YAs. I'm feeling super inspired with a lot of clarity on my path for sadhana. And today we are going to have an invigorating, engaging, and inspiring debate between two dynamic teams. And I'd like to start bringing them onto the stage now on a topic that is close to all of our hearts, sadhana. Yes, sadhana is something that we all think about and commit to in our lives. Yes? Sometimes we feel happy and encouraged about our sadhana, and other times we might feel a little bit stuck. We've all been there. But have you ever wondered which path is the best? Individual or group sadhana? I'm sure all of you have some favorite. which takes us closer to Swami, which energizes us, which gives us more enthusiasm, which path is most inspiring, in which path do you face the most barriers. So let's say Sai Ram, buckle up and please join us on this transformative journey for the next 45 minutes. All we need is your loving attention, your open heart and mind. So let's bring out these wonderful participants to come up to the stage now, and feel free to encourage and clap when they come up to the stage and share their points. There might be something that you truly resonate with, so please encourage and clap and welcome them. Come on up. Yeah, Ritesh. Hope you can see the slides. All right, I'm going to introduce the two dynamics teams for today, with the one on my left, and please give them a warm applause. This is the individual sadhana team, starting with Kirtana from Houston, Swati from Houston, Murli from Dallas, or as we Telugu people call it, Dallas. Ritesh from the Bay Area. Sister Ramya from Boston. Sai Prasanna from Chicago, or as we call in Telugu, Chicago. Can you all see them? Oh. I'm glad I checked that. There you go. There you go. Thank you. All right, to friendly reminder, on my left is the individual sadhana team, and on my right is the group sadhana team. And this is not a study circle, so when they come up, this is a debate, and they say some points that you resonate with, what would you do? Clap. All right. We're going to start with a beautiful discourse of Swami on sadhana, and there's so many beautiful ones, and this was a special one that we wanted to share, and hope you can all hear this.
And because of the husk or the grain that is responsible for rebirth, when once the husk is removed, and if we just only the rice, you make use of this rice for all other purposes. And you make pulihora, chakkara pongali, chitrana, payasam. They are all rice preparations. And you can make it rice flour and make a dosa. Or idli. Idli is one name. And there's puri another name. We have the rice.
ఈ విధంగా తీసుకుంటే మనం తినే తిండిని బట్టి ఆహారాన్ని బట్టి దీనికి పేర్లు మారుతున్నాయి కానీ లేకపోతే అన్ని బియ్యమే.
The names go on changing depend upon the item that you partake or consume, but basically it is rice alone.
అయితే బియ్యం అన్ని ఒకటే అయినప్పటికీ పాకము,
though the rice is same, but the
అదే సంస్కారము.
This paka, the preparation, is samskara,
మన
refinement.
మనసును సంస్కరింప చేసుకుంటే అది చాలా పవిత్రమైపోతుంది.
We have to polish or refine our mind.
అప్పుడే దాన్ని మనం భుజిస్తాము.
Then only that food which is cooked
బియ్యాన్ని ఎవరు కూడా తినరు.
is fit for consumption.
కానీ ప్రతి ఒక్కదానికి సంస్కారం ఉండాలి.
So, I know a lot of you were thinking about the food part. So let me reiterate what Swami was saying is the last important part in the bottom beyond all the chakkar pongala and idlis is our mind should also be purified through the process of refinement term samskara. And so sadhana is a term that we're using here to reference spiritual practices, a spiritual practice that you practice on your own or as part of a group. So I'm going to show you two characters now. The first one, his name is Sam, and he loves to do sadhana on his own. And he wakes up in the morning, goes around his neighborhood, picks up trash. And then after that, I'm going to show you a character named Sally, who is fully energized to gather folks around the community to do seva. And then I'm going to ask you a very interesting question. So that was Sam. Now let's see Sally.
Okay, everyone, let's get this neighborhood sparkling. Team A, you take the west side. Team B, the east. Let's make this park beautiful together.
All right, so how many of you here resonate with a Sam? Okay, not bad. How many with Sally? Oh, a lot more. Okay. Both? Okay, that's good. All right, so we are going to actually dive into the motion one of this fantastic debate. The motion one is about the advantages of group and individual sadhana. And as these wonderful participants come up and share their insights, please engage with them and cheer them on if you find some points that you resonate with. So I'm going to first invite our group sadhana team to come up to the stage and share what are the advantages of doing group sadhana.
Sai Ram. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dearest Bhagwan. I'm so grateful to be here with all of you. As Sai Santosh already said, we are all in the path of self-transformation. So what is self-transformation? Self-transformation is the process of purifying our heart and let that pure divine love just shine with exuberance. how do we become that pure divine love? How do we ensure that our progress is steady and profound? The answer lies in the power of collective action, which is group transformation. What is group transformation? As a Sai Center and as members of the Sai organization, we are always doing that. We are part of a service activity, devotional singing, study circle, or maybe chanting the Vedas together. All these are group sadhanas. Today, I'm here to tell you about 3 pillars that are foundational for group sadhana, that is not only beneficial for self-transformation, but it is essential for self-transformation. The first one is accountability. So in a group setting, when members of the group are working towards something, they keep each other accountable about their commitment and help them to be steady and consistent in their practice. For example, I'm a volunteer who will go for tree planting every week during the tree planting season, and I'll sign up for every week. And so we are a group of people who will drive together in one car because we are environmentally conscious, and we'll drive down all the way to the south side of Chicago, and we'll plant and we'll come back. One of the weeks I had so much work at home, I was contemplating whether to go for the tree planting or not. So I was thinking maybe this week I will miss it. At that night, a member of the group called, "What time are you coming to pick me up?" Oh my God, I decided to contemplate. I was going to be driving people and I had committed to drive. So I flipped. I decided to go, and at the same time, I was praying to Swami, "Swami, please take me through this day. I have so much to do at home. I also committed to do the tree planting, but you're going to do it for me, so I'll just go do it." And guess what? I got all my work at home done, and I also did the tree planting. My conscience was really clear. I was able to keep up with my clear conscience of doing what I did for committing to do things. This is because, thank you, the group helped me to be consistent. That members' call made me think about it, and I flipped my switch. So that's what happened. The second pillar is personalization. Personalization sounds a little bit contradictory. It's like doing what I want, but this is spiritual personalization. What is spiritual personalization? It is designing my spiritual life that is really deep, and also it is very, very tailored to my individual spiritual progress. This happens in a group sadhana. A group sadhana helps you discover hidden potentials that is within you that I wouldn't have known if I was doing by myself. So I'll give you an example. I am part of a study circle. It's called AWE, led by our dear Dr. Suresh Govind. He facilitates it with us. And we have been working together for so many years. And there are a group of facilitators, and we are studying the Gita Vahini text. Okay, so we all have read the Gita Vahini maybe many times. And all the things that we learn in Gita Vahini, that we read, sound like esoteric things that's unachievable in practical life. But because of this group sadhana, where members who are facilitators, we meet several times before every monthly session, just like the facets of the different diamond, the collective wisdom of all the members who are part of this preparation just comes out, converting this esoteric text into practical tool for everyday living. So I'll tell you how that happened. So every month after our session, we'll have a practice goal. The practice goal is something that we will take back and practice for the whole month and come back and reflect on it. So one of the goals was being comfortable doing the uncomfortable, pushing our boundaries. Okay, so we were asked to do that. So that month, I went on a trip to Norway, and we were on the beautiful fjords. There was an opportunity to take the kayak and go through the fjords, and I was thinking, oh my God, I would love to be there, but what if my kayak just overturns and I'm in the water and I get drenched, then what will I do? So this fear was always haunting me. And I remember this is my practice goal. I have to push my boundaries, do something that I'm not comfortable with. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to put aside my fear, I'm going to put my faith in Swami, and I'm going to go do it. So what? I did that. The joy I got of even doing something that I was scared to do, but being in the blissful waters of nature and enjoying that fjord waters was so enjoyable. This happened because of the group I'm part of for the sadhana that pushed me to push my boundary. And the third pillar is the power of sacrifice over convenience. So convenience is where you want to do what you like. But in a group setting, we tend to look at what the group needs to achieve. And so we'll sacrifice all our personal interest, limitations, and do what the group needs to do. And that power of sacrifice leads to immortality, which is real self-transformation, right? So therefore, we can do group sadhana just like we, members of the organization, have plenty of opportunities. We have to leverage those things and really move forward with self-transformation by group sadhana. So I invite you all to be very consistent in the practice of group sadhana. Thank you. Sai Ram.
Wonderful. That was Sai Prasanna from Chicago. So she gave some amazing points here. Accountability, personalization, being able to set goals that are uncomfortable for you, and overcoming convenience. I'm sure all of you kind of resonate with it. Now I'm going to open the floor for the individual sadhana team to share your deep insights into what are the advantages of doing individual sadhana.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Swami. I am representing the individual sadhana group. When speaking of self-transformation, our group feels that individual sadhana is the best way to achieve this goal. We will highlight for you 3 advantages of individual sadhana, which I'm sure most of you can resonate with. The first advantage, of course, is the most obvious, is convenience. One is able to decide the time and place that is most convenient. Furthermore, having an individual sadhana practice helps to build consistency. Let me give you a few examples. Example number 1. Due to my work schedule, I often work weekends and I am unable to attend group projects such as learning the Pancharatna Kritis or Seva projects that happen on weekends. I can, however, make an effort to read Sai literature on my own or listen to bhajans or discourses on my commute. Let me give you another example. Perhaps a location for a seva is just too far away, such as one of the many medical camps that occur in rural Texas. I'm nervous to drive by myself and I can't find a ride to anyone to carpool with. I can, however, keep some granola bars or water bottles or fruit in my car and hand them out to any homeless people I may encounter on my commute to or from work, which often does happen. See, many of you resonate. And let me give you one more example. Nowadays, with the help of technology, our centers are able to arrange Zoom calls for various group sadhanas, such as chanting the Gayatri Mantra. Unfortunately, these calls often occur between 8 or 9 p.m., which, if you're a parent, you know it's peak bedtime or housework duties at home. So I'm usually unable to make any of those calls. The timing is not working out. I can, however, finish all of my duties around the house and sit and chant on my own when I'm able to. The second advantage to individual sadhana is the personalization. Now you'll hear our aspect or our version. By personalization, we are referring to the fact that you are able to work on the areas that resonate with you the most. For example, perhaps I'm not interested in working on learning Vedas at this point in my life because of my busy schedule and my lack of time to practice. I do, however, really enjoy working with children, so I channel my energy working with children at the center with the SSE kids and volunteering with them. Another great aspect of personalization is that you can seek out individual or selective guidance on an aspect of sadhana which is interesting to you. For example, in study circle at center, the discussion may not be interesting because it's either too high level or too basic compared to where I might be on my own personal spiritual journey. I can invest my time more wisely by working on areas I personally feel more development in. For example, I'm constantly working on being a more patient and peaceful parent. For this individual sadhana, I often seek out parenting books such as Sathya Parenting, and I also try my best to practice meditation. It doesn't happen all the time, but I try. Do namasmarana or breathing exercises, and I can seek out further guidance on these specific topics. One last aspect of personalization to highlight is that you don't have to go along with the group majority for the sake of being a team player. For example, the majority YA group may collectively decide to do a tree planting seva, but in Texas, this is not really of interest to me in the boiling heat and getting mosquito bites. I know some of y'all in Boston or Chicago may enjoy it, but let's be real. But for the EnviroCare people, I do have a lot of indoor plants. I'm personally more interested in something else, such as doing seva with animals, perhaps volunteering at an animal shelter. The third and last advantage of individual sadhana that we would like to highlight is the self-introspection that goes along with it. In pursuing individual sadhana, you are able to think for yourself, listen to your true inner voice, and have a deeper connection with your conscience and not be influenced by others' words or actions. For example, our center has a service project, where we go to the CPS shelter to interact with the residents there and serve them ice cream and cake and sing happy birthday. I would find that sometimes when going with the big group, I wound up socializing more so with my friends from center rather than interacting with the residents. If I had gone on my own, I probably would have been more fully present and not been so distracted or caught up in socializing. And I'm sure many of you feel that, right? Remember, Swami says, only in the depths of silence can the voice of God be heard. When we engage in unnecessary conversations with people around us, we get caught up in trying to be more likable, or we try to present a certain version of ourselves. When we're on our own, we can be our true selves and remember to listen to our own beliefs and listen to the conscience within. So these are the three main advantages we as a group see that individual sadhana affords us on our journeys to self-transformation. Thank you.
Yay, wonderful. Such amazing points about time and place, consistency, personalization, self-introspection, and going deep into silence. I've been actually trying to do that sadhana for the last 3 nights of trying to go deep into silence, but my roommates are snoring. So that is my group sadhana, or maybe they are saying the same thing. So it's like Dolby Atmos kind of thing in the hotel room, but it is what it is. So we're going to now go deeper into the 4 whys of sadhana. I'm sure if I walk around this room and I ask you a question, why do you want to do sadhana? Each one of you is going to come up with a unique answer. And so this is only a perspective, right? And so we're going to go deep into the 4 whys. The first why. Why does the individual have to transform? To remove bad feelings and to have more pure feelings. And let's go a little deeper. Why do we want to have purity of feelings? To recognize our divinity. Why do we want to recognize our divinity? To be happy always. Or one of the answers is to be God 24/7. Why do we want to be happy always? Because it's our natural state. So I'm sure you have your own 4 whys, and if you have a notebook, you're welcome to write down what those 4 whys are. I'm going to play incredible discourse from Swami from the same year that we've been hearing for the last 2 days, from the year 1968. This was on Swami's birthday. It's one of the landmark discourses where he's talking about what is the end goal of sadhana.
I have come to give you the key of the treasure of Ananda or bliss, to tell you how to tap that spring, for you have forgotten the way to blessedness. If you waste this chance of saving yourselves, it is just your fate. You have come to get from me tinsel and trash, the petty little cures and promotions, worldly joys and comforts. Very few of you desire to get from me the thing I have come to give you, namely liberation itself. And even among these few, those who stick to the path of spiritual practice and succeed are a handful.
Some goosebumps right there. Can anybody guess who's the speaker? Yes. So motion 2, now we're going to dive deep into group and individual sadhana. Ready? You all ready for motion 2? Yes? All right. Just making sure everybody's awake. So we have 4 themes that we're going to cover. And one of the first themes that we're going to dive deeper into is accountability. So I'm going to now invite the group sadhana team to share your insights. Thank you. Sorry, Sister Ramya.
Sai Ram, everyone. Thank you. There you go. Group, come on. Sai Ram. With utmost gratitude to Swami, we thank you for providing this opportunity to reflect and share our thoughts on how group sadhana helps drive accountability. Before we dive deep into this topic, we will start by defining what accountability means to us. In the context of group sadhana, accountability means achieving consistency in spiritual practice. We have already heard about how everybody, even from the individual sadhana group, had difficulty, right, with consistency. We empathize with you, and that's why we want you on this side. Following the social media trend, here's our expectation versus reality. The expectation is to have a smooth journey on this spiritual path, doing consistent, intense spiritual practice that refines oneself and helps experience the divine within. Talking personally here, if my calculation is right, at this steady pace, I should have been a self-realized soul at least 15 years ago. But sorry, I'm here today. So that's the reality, right? The reality is this journey has been a disjointed sinusoidal wave with frequent ups and downs and lots of breaks in between. How many of you agree with that? Yeah? It is a challenge. It is a challenge. Amidst all this instability, group sadhana is the only thing that has kept me stay the course. This reminds me of a bhajan. When I slip, when I fall, lend me a hand. When I stray far away, bring me back again. How many of you know this bhajan? How many times have we remembered of that hand when we actually slipped and fell? Few. I want the individual sadhana team to please make a note of it. This is my point. When you actually slip and fall, sometimes you will not even remember about this hand. And still you have asked Swami to lend his hand, right? He is reaching out to you. And you have forgotten all about the hand. And who reminds you of that hand? I don't have a caller, but the group sadhana. we remind you, we serve as that gentle push to remind you of that loving hand so that you can hold on to it. So that is the power of group sadhana. Please, thank you so much. I'm sure many of you would have been in this situation. When you participate in a group sadhana, sometimes you are the one that needs that reminder. And sometimes you are the one that's reminding a fellow traveler, right? So that is why you need a group spiritual practice and not just the individual spiritual practice. I would like to share a personal experience that is very relevant here. Again, I'm going to repeat some of the points that they have said, because that's a challenge that I did face, that I am facing. I like doing early morning meditation and Suprabhatam. I really want to do it every day because it clears my mind. It provides the clarity for the rest of the day. I do want to do it, but due to various reasons, I can't. I can't establish consistency. And I did give up on that. I said, you know what? This is not my cup of tea. It's okay, Swami. You can enjoy the Suprabhatam. You can wake up by yourself. I'm happy for you. But in our center, we started doing a weekly meditation session. And that helped bring the consistency and the motivation that I lacked at the individual level, right? If I'm the perfect being, I don't need a reminder, but I'm not. So that is why I need a group that supports me, that motivates me, that stands with me always. As sisters, thank you again. I'm going to be thanking you for every clap here. I am really recognizing your appreciation here. Thank you. And this is not match fixing, okay? I didn't tell anybody to clap for me. As Sister Sai Prasanna shared earlier, just a simple, loving phone call or a shared ride from a group member gives that gentle push that is needed to achieve consistency in our spiritual practice. Group sadhana is the effective way to get that support and achieve consistency. Jai Sai Ram.
All right, the individual sadhana team. What do you have for us in store? Let's see. Kirtana from Houston.
Om Shri Sai Ram, my humble pranams at Swami's lotus feet. That was a very tough act to follow, but let's see what we can have here happen. Accountability definitely is a big part of group sadhana, but let's go a little bit further. Who are we accountable to? During group sadhana, you're accountable to the group, not yourself. During individual sadhana, you're accountable to yourself only, and actually take action according to your personal best interests. For example, if you've committed to showing up at 6 a.m. one day for a group sadhana, but the day before you were busy from dawn to dusk and came home exhausted, you will feel obliged to show up regardless of your physical well-being, and you will deprioritize your own personal rest and recovery in favor of keeping up your name in front of society. Accountability in group sadhana is fueled by log kya kahenge? What will people say? What will people think of me? Which is rooted in ego. It's our ego that we are trying to save when we are trying to fulfill our duties outside. When the real question we need to ask ourselves is, what will Swami say? What does the Swami inside of me need right now? Another example, during the pre-flight safety announcements, one of the messages they convey is, please put the oxygen mask over yourself first. before you put it on even your own child. Which is very valid because you are no help to anyone when you yourself are overextended or incapacitated. Sai Prasanna auntie shared about the one weekend where she hesitated going to tree planting. Why did she hesitate? Because of all the duties she had at home. And she mentioned one very critical point. She was able to go to tree planting after all with a clear conscience. But what did she do before that? Finish her housework. What if you are unable to finish that housework? Will you still be able to go to tree planting seva with a clear conscience, thinking about all the work you have to do at home? Swami says, have unity in thought, word, and deed. Your word and deed will be tree planting, but your thoughts will be at home, mentally making a list of every chore you have left incomplete. What peace of mind will you have? What satisfaction will you have going outside and doing seva? Swami says service begins with your family. I want to remind you all of the story of Pundarika. Is anyone familiar with Pundarika's story? Pundarika was an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna and was always engaged in service to his elderly parents. When Lord Krishna himself showed up at Pundarika's doorstep, Pundarika with utmost humility asked him, please wait for him outside, as he hadn't finished doing his duty to his parents yet, which is his own personal, unique, individual duty that no one else in the world will be able to complete. When you prioritize your unique individual dharma and individual sadhana, the Lord himself will come before you to shower you with his blessings. You are answerable to Swami, and Swami always says you have a direct connection with him alone. When you commit to Swami, you show up for that commitment out of the love and devotion you have for Swami, and you do so with full-hearted enthusiasm and no resentment or sense of obligation in your heart, or dread for any dirty dishes waiting for you back home. The only accountability partner you need to listen to is your moral compass, your conscience, the voice of Swami in your head, gently guiding you along, calling you Bangaru, Prema Swarupalara, reminding you so sweetly and lovingly that you are an embodiment of love, an absolute spark of divinity. Swami said, my life is my message. And he said, your life is my message. With the weight of that responsibility on our heads and the love of Swami in our hearts, we will naturally be held accountable by Swami's standards for us and our love and respect for him alone. Jai Sai Ram.
That's what we call as a home run. See, all this what log kya kahenge, people will what say, all that we forget when we're in the dining hall. You know, when the food plate is in front of me. You know, Swami is saying, Bangaru, how much will you eat? But it's there. So the next, we're going to next theme, correct? Yes. So the next theme is about convenience, and we're going to have Brother Ritesh share his wonderful insights.
Saram, everyone. With gratitude to Swami and the entire audience present here, I would like to share a little bit about why our group believes that the little inconveniences that come with group sadhana are not necessarily a very bad thing. Actually, it's very hard to go after a wonderful presentation like that by Kirtana. But I'm really glad that Swami gave us the opportunity to talk about convenience. Houston, huh? Where's the Bay Area folks? Oh, there you go. This reminds me of yesterday's moment. As you all saw the wonderful young adult play last night, it was the culmination of 3 months or 4 months of arduous sacrifices and countless number of inconveniences where we had many, many, many moments of, oh, you know, we have kids to take care of. We have elders who are sick in a different country where we had to travel in the last minute, but still do the practices, still make everything happen, still do this. The reason I'm sharing this is to not to share that that is what is needed, but to get the task done, but that is what is needed for our personal spiritual growth. What is spiritual growth? It is for us to recognize and surrender to the Lord's will. Surrender doesn't come when you are living within your own conveniences, where you are controlling all your variables and you don't need to think of anything else, and you're able to take care of yourself in your own moment. The Lord often gives us opportunities to push ourselves, but to remember Swami's words of Bangaru and Prema Surupalara. It's not that you are making an effort, but you no longer have a choice. This is the only path when you're in the group, and you have to make concessions to the group, you have to go along with the group, and you have to learn humility, tolerance, and patience. How are you going to do all of this when you can just wake up one day and say, today, let me just skip Suprabhatam, tomorrow I can do it? Ultimately, what we can accomplish together gives us a large and amazing opportunity that nothing that we can do individually can do. What do we do with this opportunity? That is the real key. The opportunity presents us with a moment for us to recognize our own inner vices, our blind spots that nothing would have shown us, actually. We are being pushed to that brink of saying, Swami, we've done everything. It is now your will. And what happens after that moment, like what happened with the play yesterday, you were like, wow, Swami, we see your hand in everything. Your faith improves. Your connection to the Lord improves. And you continue to do more and more of these things, and you have the energy to go more. As a quick example, I probably slept for 3 hours every day for the last 4 days, and I'm still able to go just because of the energy of the group. You know, I'm not thinking about this. It is not that I don't have household chores to do, but the energy comes from the universe when you're trying to do something larger than yourself. It is beyond oneself. It's recognizing that unity, that collective sense of belonging, and tapping into that universal energy that only comes when we as a group work together for a greater common good. So I appeal to everyone here, if you think that group sadhana brings to you in your life small inconveniences, take them as blessings, because without those inconveniences, you are not going to grow the way that Swami wants us all to grow. Sai Ram.
That was fantastic. All right. So, individual sadhana team, are you ready? Yes?
What are some ways in which individual sadhana is convenient? You decide the time and place of your convenience, and it helps build consistency. But let me tell you a personal story. So last month, I started a new job. This job requires me to work on certain Saturdays every month. Because of this, I'm no longer able to attend bhajans on Saturdays or participate in other group center events. At first, I was very disappointed with having my Saturdays blocked by work. But then, I remembered Swami's quote, "Work is worship. Duty is God. Do your duty. Even the tiniest work is a flower placed at the feet of Bhagavan." I work as an optometrist, and my clinic's target demographic are lower income families, where we provide comprehensive eye exams and 2 pairs of glasses for the affordable price of $90. Saturdays are our busiest days, and we see many patients who work long hours and are unable to come in during the regular weekdays. Some of these people haven't seen a primary care doctor in the past 10-15 years. I turn my job into my seva by the mentality with which I approach my patients, by speaking softly, sweetly, and lovingly, and by taking those extra few minutes with them to explain in simple terms what's going on with their health, what they should and shouldn't be doing, and what consequences they can expect to face in the future if they don't improve their lifestyle choices. Many of them tell me this is the first time they're hearing about this. No doctor has told them about this before. Some of the patients I see are Spanish-speaking only, and when I greet them with a hi, they greet me back with hola. And then I smile even bigger, and I tell them, yo puedo hablar en español, en qué puede servirle? Which means I can speak in Spanish. In what ways can I help you? I see the fear melt away from their faces. They relax, they feel so much more comfortable, and it makes me really feel happy inside. I've come to realize that even though I am missing out on the opportunity of doing group sadhana on Saturdays, I personally am adding more unique value to the world as an individual, just by the convenience of showing up to work on a Saturday. Sai Ram.
Wow, that was amazing. Work is worship, duty is God. All right, this playing this role also has been very inconvenient for me because I spend most of my time with rescued animals. I'm always moderating and shepherding animals. So somebody said, can you moderate humans? I was like, I'll try my best. So we are going to dive deeper now into the next topic is personalization. And actually this time I'm going to flip it around and ask the individual sadhana team to go first. And this is Brother Murli. I call him a YA. YA, youngish adult.
Sai Ram. Sai Ram. Go Alice. So when everyone says Sai Ram, somebody sees it's a group activity. People are saying unison. But actually I see someone is saying Sai Ram. Someone is saying Sai Ram with bhava. So that is personalization. You are even saying Sai Ram collectively, it becomes a group activity. But it becomes a personal sadhana when you bring your heart out and say how you say Sai Ram. And that brings me second point is, after Ketana speaks, I feel that we already won the debate. And I become so tensed up, what do I have to speak after Ketana speaks? Okay, coming back to the topic, we are talking about self-transformation through individual sadhana. For me, this is something like cooking my own recipe and eating my own recipe versus eating a recipe prepared for somebody else. A food prepared for somebody else is group sadhana. The food which I cook, I eat is personal sadhana. And when you are pursuing this particular personal sadhana, there are some obstacles, some barriers, and also there are some enablers, some contributing factors. Let's dwell on what these are and how we can mitigate the obstacles successfully and how we successfully use the enablers. One obstacle, in my personal sadhana, if I want to connect to Swami within, sometimes the ego pops up. I do not accept people's opinions, or I feel that, okay, I suddenly get anger. Okay, this fellow is talking to me like this. And my personal sadhana comes up and says, okay, hey man, you need to see the God within. How you do it? Since I am an individual, I have that liberty or convenience or accountability to work on my own. I can read from Swami's discourses, or I can listen to his discourses, or I can go to any literature which soothes my anger. If that doesn't help me, I can still specifically choose a counselor to control my ego or to eliminate my ego. That is personalization. That helps me a lot to remove that one. Now let's talk about enablers. What are the things which enable me for the self-transformation? Here the topic is self-transformation. It's not group activity. So if I'm talking about self-transformation within myself, what are the enablers? I'll give a small example. I'm not a singer, but I want to sing bhajans because I connect to Swami while singing bhajans. Now, since I'm not a singer, if I go and sit in a bhajan hall with a group singing in front of an altar where we have around 30, 40 devotees sitting, I'm very conscious. Am I singing to the tune? Am I singing the lyrics correctly? Or the thala is coming? But what is missing? They all may be there, but what is missing? Bhava. Bhava is missing. Instead, I can go sit into a quiet corner in front of a Swami's picture and sing to him. Only the bhava comes. I don't worry about the raga or thala in that one. And while singing that bhajan, I may pause at line and I repeat the same line 3 times, 4 times because I see Swami in that one. I see Swami in that one. I want to enjoy that moment. So I go back, rewind, and sing the same line 3, 4 times. And I may give a pause, cry for some time. That is what transformation is. When your heart is tender, that is the place where God's name can be inscribed, which stays for longer. That is my personal sadhana. Once Swami has mentioned to one of the students who was singing, as a singer, you need to focus on the thala. You need to focus on raga and thala. When you sing in tune, the devotees follow with bhava. And now bhava will come to me. See, that is how you extract bhava. That is a big process. Whereas in personalization sadhana, I can directly offer that bhava to Swami. I don't have to depend on raga and thala. So that is the way how you can personalize things. And let me talk about one personal sadhana, which is service. You would have heard, while introducing our moderator, Santosh, that he is an animal lover. Of course, he also loves human beings. I'm not saying. But if he has to go for a sadhana, which is prescribed by the center, would he be happy? Your centers are giving multiple options for you to do service. But being a person who is enthusiastic at service, are you attending every service? No. You will be picking and choosing a service which is close to your heart. That is personalization again. Now, given a chance to push, he would say, oh, I prefer to go to an animal shelter and do service than going to some other activity. So, like that, personal sadhana, thank you. Like that, personal sadhana is very, very important for us because your objective is self-transformation. Saira.
Saira, I think my case was made there. I don't really have to talk much. But I'll explain why I said that. As Sister Ramya was mentioning, we're talking about expectation versus reality here. Yes, we all want to attain God. We all want to attain spiritual growth and recognize our inherent divinity. If we all had that, then we can follow exactly what the individual sadhana team is talking about. Recognize Swami, remember Swami every moment. The key to recognize here is who is doing this personalization. How do I know what is right for me? Given the options and given my tendencies, I'm going to choose what's easy for me instead of what's needed for me. I need to know how to personalize this correctly. A small example, in my own life, I prefer service over every other activity, so I always just went to service activities. I never went to devotional programs as much, and so I never thought I needed to learn to chant the Vedas. It felt so far off to me, not my culture. I don't understand tonality. How am I going to do this? But during the pandemic, the International Young Adults launched a program to teach the young adults Vedas. All my young adults friends were signing up. They're like, oh, it's an opportunity to learn. I was like, what is this? Why do I have to learn this? But they're like, just sign up, just sign up. And they forced me to do it. I was like, fine, I'll do it. And I needed a lot of help. I needed a lot of help with my friends to get the tones right. And once I learned just a tad bit, and started practicing it consistently, with my own lived experience, I understood what the benefits of Veda chanting were. It was incredible, right? So in my own personalized plan, with my current interests, I would have never ventured to go and learn the Vedas. It is through the help of the group that I even saw that. What did this give me? Vedas were a way to replenish my energy to go back and do even more service. How is it that you have time to do service and go back and do your kitchen dishes? do the right sadhana and have the right sadhana in your toolkit. But how do you know what is the right thing, especially if you're already struggling for energy? And so I would really say that if we're going to limit our sadhana opportunities to just what we know, we're really limiting our spiritual growth. And that's why satsang is very important for spiritual growth. Sairam.
Now we're going to wrap it up very quickly with one of the final themes, which is how is each sadhana path unique and have its benefits? Sister, individual sadhana? Yes.
This is okay, Billy. Thank you. Sir, I'm coming to the final question, our final topic of our personal sadhana for self-transformation. We have discussed about various aspects of individual sadhana for self-transformation, like convenience. We talk about personalization. There are quite a few advantages with that one, but let me give you one personal example which I follow on day-to-day basis to connect to Swami. For any transformation, as I mentioned earlier, like you need to make your heart tender. Like Swami has mentioned it, unless the soil is soft, there is no point in putting seeds on that one. It will not grow. It will not grow. So for that one, you need to have a feeling that Swami is within me. So you need to forcefully bring that feeling. You need to forcefully bring that feeling. So what I do is, when I'm traveling alone in the car, when no one is physically around me, I invite Swami to come and sit next to me in the passenger seat. I invite Swami to come and sit next to me. I visualize that he is sitting. And I feel that. And that's the reason why whenever I travel alone, I don't keep any luggage, including my office laptop also, I don't keep it in the passenger seat. It's always on the back seat only. Now Swami is sitting next to me. What do? I'll talk to him. I'll share my problems. I'll share my happiness. I'll fight with him. Swami, why did you like this? Why did you do like this? Why did you do like that? He answers, he doesn't answer. I'm not interested because I see him there. I visualize him there. And I think about the moments where I physically traveled with him. I talk about those things. I also talk about the missed opportunities of serving him and serving his devotees. Swami, I lament. Swami, I missed an opportunity. Would you be kind enough to give me that opportunity again? Can I change myself? Can I do it differently? So all these things will happen in individual sadhana because you are connecting to him, not to the group. So with this one, I strongly feel that individual sadhana is the best way for self-transformation. If anyone has reservations or if anyone has otherwise think, meet me privately. Sairam.
That was wonderful. What a beautiful practice of inviting Swami in your everyday life. Thank you for sharing.
Brother Murali, that was very touching, how you give the seat to Swami. You know what we are saying? When the car is full, the only place Swami has is your heart, in everyone's heart. So whoever does not agree with the individual sadhana, you're always welcome to do group sadhana. Everyone is welcome here. No special interviews. You are in the team already. So have you heard the phrase, the sum is greater than the parts? That means that a whole entity or a system, when considered as a unit, is more valuable, effective, and significant than the sum of its individual components. What is A plus B the whole square? A square plus B square plus, there you go. That 2AB is group sadhana. Otherwise, you would have just had A square and B square, right? Yeah. This concept highlights the idea that interactions and relationships between the parts can create something new and greater than the individual elements alone. Swami says, my life is my message, expansion is my life. Group sadhana is the ideal vehicle to practice that expansion. Let me ask you a simple question. Why are we here at this conference? Please, team, go ahead. Mic drop. How many of you missed your flights? How many of you had cancelled flights? How many of you reached at 2 a.m. and showed up for Suprabhatam at 5:45? Inconveniences. Yeah? We are all here because we believe in this collective energy, and we believe that collectively we can transform together and grow together. Yesterday during the talk show, they presented a project, the Seedlings project. Remember how they showed you? They take the maple seedlings, they bunch them together for safety so they can grow together. So let us all come together and grow together. So group sadhana is the effective way for self-transformation. Jai Sai Ram, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. I wish you were my math teacher. My life would have turned out to be different, but that's okay. A wonderful quote that Swami says is, the individual and society are intertwined inextricably. There must be illumination for both. Society is just a name for a group of individuals. Individuals are the limbs that nourish and support the corpus called society. Divine Discourse 1974. Today you heard these two amazing dynamic themes. How many of you are with individual sadhana? How many of you are with group sadhana? How many of you are with both? How many of you are totally confused? That's okay. Because we're going to talk about something as to where this sadhana is leading us all, to wrap this up, right? Does anybody know what a method actor is? Right? A method actor is somebody who lives the role, right? They spend so much time understanding the character, and they become that role. And as soon as the camera starts rolling or they walk onto the stage, they become that character, right? Yesterday we saw those YAs become cows. Method acting. That's what I call method acting, right? So imagine that all those wonderful YAs who did the play yesterday show up today here, wearing the same costumes, saying the same things, and you'll be like, did you get a good night's sleep? Everything okay? We absolutely loved that play. It was amazing, all the sacrifices you did. It was one of the best plays I saw, but everything okay? And if they say, right? So what has happened? They went so deep into method acting that they forgot to turn it off, right? We are all method actors. Yeah. Have you ever thought about it? I'm method actor, Sai Santosh. I believe it so wholeheartedly with all of my heart that I absolutely believe that I am Sai Santosh. And Swami is saying, no, Bangaru, you and I are one, right? So, the concept of now, and Swami says, the omnipresent now, everything is in the now. If I am always playing the role of this method actor called Sai Santosh, you can see the self-realization is always a future goal. It's out there. I'm always chasing that self-realization out there. And Swami says that right now, be free now. Are we ready for absolute freedom now? And I was deeply moved by a scene yesterday from the SSC play where the young child takes the doll, and what does she do? She offers it to the fire, lets it go. And in that depth of silence, when I offer all my I should be and I shouldn't be, my past and my future, and everything I have done or not done, and I offer that now in this present moment to Swami, all that remains is nothingness, which Swami says, above you nothing, below you nothing, to the right of you nothing, or to the left of you nothing. Dissolve yourself into that nothingness. That would be the best way you could explain the realization of the self. And yet, that nothingness would not be the absence of something like nothingness. That nothingness is the fullness of everything, the power of the existence of that appears to be everything. So hope you are all energized after this debate and feel inspired to dive deeper into the now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, debate team, for that insightful conversation. That was the best way to start the day. Thank you once again. We have a powerhouse keynote speaker coming up next. It's Dr. Suresh Govind. Dr. Govind is the member of the Prashanti Council and chairman of the Sri Sathya Sai Scriptural Studies Committee of the SSIO. He leads the Sai 100 program, which has picked up momentum in several countries. He's a professor and former head of the Department of Parasitology at the University of Malaya. He has written several chapters in publications by the World Health Organization and supervised more than 100 elective diploma graduates and postgraduate students. He has received the honorable awards, including prestigious Malaysian Touré Science Award. And Dr. Suresh Govind has been serving in the SSIO for more than 3 decades in various positions, including the National Council President of Malaysia. Please help me give a warm welcome to Dr. Suresh Govind.
Sai Ram. Dear brothers and sisters, by the infinite grace, love and compassion of Bhagwan Baba, SSSIO-USA has really dipped all of us in these 3 days in nectarian bliss. So blissful, so we don't want to leave this place. We feel so good, so connected, and so beautiful. Never has there been a conference in the world, Sathya Sai conference in the world, where the conference has been organized next to the airport. You know why? Because both Harish and Alex, what they wanted to do was, they wanted you to come out of the aircraft, the next step must be in the hotel lobby. Unfortunately, the US, they want us to go through the immigration and custom, but that is beyond their control. But that is the convenience, and so seamlessly everything was organized, so beautifully everything was put, nice food you had, SSC children there. You see, everything is happening But there's a lot of background work which you don't know, which you don't see, but everything is seamlessly going through as if everything is so beautifully done, including the debate, and to cap it all up, the play that they did. You know the SSC children, they did the play, the sacrifice. Please don't think that is just a play. That was a Native American ideal in which if you sacrifice, rain will come. But that is also in the Hindu Shastras and all these villages. Rain will come if there is one individual person who's able to sacrifice. In the Gita is Yajna spirit. Those who live in this world sacrificing, the nature will be with us. Why it is not coming to this point is because we have become selfish and self-centered. SSC children reminded us to become sacrificial. Then the youth came, my God, it was really like then they did everything. There are 3 scripts there, the 3 parallel plays that was done, and the dialogues was like that. See, I'm a play guy. I've written more than 100 scripts. 12 of them were staged in front of Bhagavan Baba. So I'm very careful to see what is happening, where the stage, because we have done this. So, I was looking what could have improved, and then I found out perfection can never be improved. Okay. So, my topic is self-transformation towards oneness, which is the theme of this particular conference. But how do we transform? Actually, when you say self-transformation, what is it? Like this debate that you did like this, what is it? Which is more important? Group sadhana or individual sadhana? It's like asking, which is more important? Breathing in or breathing out? So, now, self-transformation towards oneness is a beautiful picture, because the caterpillar is continuously parasitizing. So I told the caterpillar, hey, look at you. You are just continuously living selfishly, self-centeredly, eating on leaves. Why don't you change? Caterpillar told me, Suresh, it's not possible. Why it's not possible? Look at me, ugly, creepy, crawly creature. I said, you can change. You must go within. They asked me, how do you go within? Become a pupa. So the pupa they went within, and then from there the pupa cracked, and you became a butterfly. Butterfly gives, caterpillar takes. The caterpillar takes, devil, you give, God, become godly, Baba said. So this is what the whole transformation is, towards that oneness. So when you give and give and give, you become godly. Question is, what do you do? How do you do it? That is what the subject is all about. So what can we do? So you see, this is a very nice thing. 2 people from lot of work we do. Lot of work from that side, the rail was built. This side, we are working. And finally, when they came together, the rails are not matching. Your activity has not led to productivity. So the point of the story is that you can be ritual, you can do all these things, it's wonderful, fantastic, but is it leading to results? The key point is what you want, results. That is what, if you don't want results and we are just doing, it's fun. But Swami said, life is a game, play it. Game is no goal. Play it, you have to have a goal. Life must have a goal. And with that goal, we must move towards that goal. So everything we must now start to see. Is it relevant? Is it significant? Is it impactful? We have to see. See, this is very funny. Humans are the only creatures on earth that will cut down a tree, turn it into paper, and then write, save the trees. Funny, isn't it? So a lot of things that we are doing in our life, we have to ask. We have to check and see. This conference is over. Today you'll be going back. You'll be flying back. For 1 week later, how was the conference? Nice conference, good conference. The chapatis was good. The curry was nice. Okay, but apart from that, what about the talks? That also was good. Then about 1 month later, I ask you something. Which conference was it? In Dallas? Yeah, Dallas. Yes. Nice, good. What did they talk about? Love, serve, that kind of thing. Yeah. Then... Six months later, if I ask you, how is it? It's a faint notion, isn't it? 1 year later, imagination. 2 years later, hallucination. That's all. Everything will pass by, my friend. Everything will pass by. The whole point of the story is that it has got to instill. It has got to be impressive. Every point. What did you learn? What did you see? What did you think? Each speaker who does, you have to pick up the point. Why? Time is short. In one conference where 1,800 people was there, I brought into the conference a pot. I carried a pot with me, and I put here. And I came to this spot. And I asked everyone, what's my height? 6'3". Can I go into this spot? Everybody said no. One day, I can. Yeah, I can. The point of the story is that if anything happens, you collapse, 24 hours, they catch my ashes and put it here. I am portable. And this you have to remember, because Swami said 2 things you must remember. What is that? Death and God. If one who is not contemplating on what death is can never be a jnani in Jnana Vahini, Swami writes there. That is how you must think. Every moment is spare. You are only given a short span of time. In this time, you have to finish the examination and you have to redeem your life. That yearning must be there. That burning sensation must be there. Otherwise, this opportunity will be lost. You and I are very privileged. Early morning when we get out, you have to thank Lord. Oh Lord, from the 8.4 million species, lucky I am a human being. Do you know that? You are a human being. That's the most privileged sensation and experience you have. This experience that you have a human being is the most privileged. And being a human being, we came to know about spirituality. And that too, we must be very honored and lucky. Why? Because for us, it was not normal guru who came and gave you Bhiksha Mantra and all that. God himself came down and picked us up. Oh Lord, that means how privileged are we? You came and picked us up. Not only you picked us up, you taught us, you sang and you guided us and you pulled us all, in which means to say, that soul, our soul must be, that's why when I was traveling 25 hours from Malaysia to here, there was many functions that you have when you travel to a science conference, to see relatives, to see friends. There's nothing more exciting. Your soul starts vibrating because you want to meet devotees. Funny, when you come here, some of you I have not met, but when we are meeting, it's like one kind of a funny feeling that you get, as if you have met a long time before. I think what happens is when we are sitting here, our souls get up and go out for the playground, and they have a good, hey, hi, how are you, where are you? Yeah, I'm in that other body. Oh, you are in this body, okay. We have this beautiful, I think that is real satsang. They're having satsang there, and after today, we all will come back to ourselves, and we return back home. So that is, I think, that feeling that we have. So this connection must be respected and revered. You all are responsible for my redemption. You are responsible. That's I'm telling you. Dr. Reddy also, senior professor, he reprimands me and tells me, you must correct this, you must do this, you must do this. It's okay. You know why? Simply because everybody must be corrected. And because as long as you take me to God, don't allow SSIO to use you. Use SSIO to get to God. That is how the relationship should be. Yeah. All these are Rajinikanth's punch dialogue, Now, doctor said, asked to spend at least 1 hour per day in the treadmill. Doctor said, hey, 1 hour you should be in the treadmill. No problem. Is he in the treadmill? Yes, he's in the treadmill. What is he doing? Yeah. Fulfilling. Yeah. This is why, for this reason, the Sathya Sai Scriptural Committee. Is William here? William, are you here? William. Yeah, get up, please get up, William. Please stand up. That's William. Srikanth, here, please stand up, Srikanth, yeah. And Niranjan, stand up, Niranjan. Yeah, all these people, and then we have Severin on the side, Fiona and Sean on New Zealand. We have Sarika in Mauritius and George Babadalis. This is the 9 people in the Sathya Sai scriptural study. You all get the scriptural study thing? The purpose of the study guide, I know you may be a bit confused, is to read. Just because you may forget. It's nicely put there. How is study guides? How is it? Very nice. Have you read it? That's the only thing we have not done. But so now I just want to let you know, all these people sit day and night and generate. How many of you have received the 108 mirrors, 108 study guide, Namavali? Yeah. No, others have not received it? No, it's a very serious thing because we have passed it to National Council, regional leaders. All of you should have received it, and you should be conducting the study cycles because we have already received. Study cycle, early morning, 4:30, you get up. Oh, you chant 108 times. Oh, Swami, you are the one who's compassionate. You are the one who's all kind. You are the one who is all, formally, Shirdi Sai Baba, and then you have done. And he will sit there and say, this I know this. I know this. You're bothered to wake me up at 108 early morning and you're telling me, I know. Yeah. So that is why we changed it, because it's a ritual. If you just do it like a parrot, it's a ritual. But now we changed it. We said 108 mirrors, 108 times. Oh Lord, you are the one who's compassionate. My question to us, am I as compassionate as you are? And if I'm compassionate 108 times, I increase my frequency. Why? Because he said, you are God. But I don't feel God. Therefore, I have to change. I have to transform. We used 108 times to transform ourselves so that by the time we finish our life, we can be with him. Why? Because Baba said, even the river has innate intelligence to go to the ocean. What happened to humanity? Swami said that. If you have decided to clap, clap enthusiastically. Dharma of a clapper is to clap. Yeah. Now, in life, you and I are caught in this maze. We are in this maze. We are trying to get out. We are trying to come out. Where? Which direction? What is it? And we are going. So in this direction that we are lost, we got one Sai center. All right. So we go into the Sai center, but we are still there. We are lost. We are coming out. The whole purpose of life is to come out. But what we do, we take the altar and we put in our house. We got a bathroom, we got a hall, we got an altar also, and we in the altar, we sit here, and you, how is life? Everything is okay. Bhagavan, give me this. Bhagavan, give me that. Everything is given. So your prison is very beautiful. The only thing that we are not asking Swami is the key to open the jail door and come out. That is what we are supposed to do, but we are not asking. So for that purpose, my devotees, they never asked me for this. So to demonstrate that, I was born in a jail. You remember Krishna came, he was born in a jail, and he demonstrated. I asked Krishna, why were you born in a jail unnecessarily? You should have been born in a maternity home or a hospital. He told me, Suresh, you were born in a jail too. But when I was born, the jail door opened, I came out. But the problem is, you are still in the jail. That is why I am called Paramatma, and you are called Jivatma. Yeah. So the teacher is saying that we need to now come out of our jail. We have to, your yearning must be, you should be, what kind of life is this? How can I be leading a life like this? So mundane, so normal, so finite. We have to demonstrate that we have to live it. We must use, that's why Swami said, more important than guru is guri. You know what's the difference? Correct, spelling. So, guru is teacher, guri is goal. You must have a goal. Now, I thought for this for a long while. Yeah, so, look at this. Transforming, what are you transforming? Transforming thoughts, transforming habits, transforming values, transforming outlook, transforming perspective. All these have to, there's so much transformation I must do. But there's one thing that you can do. You transform this, you can transform everything. What is that? Transform belief. Transform belief. It's called belief shift. You have to shift your belief. Hey, we believe in God. We all believe in God. Yeah, that is also another problem. That can be a very nice, beautiful Maya also. We need to also understand that wearing white and white does not make you spiritual, you know. It just gives you a uniform. That's why Swami said in one discourse, why you wear white and inside, since you are not white, at least wear outside white. So white and white is just a uniform. So what are we doing? Transforming belief. So literally at one time, earth was flat. You remember? Earth was considered flat. So mothers used to tell children, don't explore, you may fall off the cliff. People never did that. So what happened? Outlook was different, thoughts was different, perspective was different. Why? Belief was, earth was flat. And then science proved what? Earth is not flat, my friend, earth is round. People said, you cannot run 4 minutes in 1 mile. 1 mile you cannot be done 4 minutes. Nobody did that. Until one guy, you know who's the guy who did that? Who? Yeah, Roger Manis, he did that. So when he did that, he crossed the thing. Next year, next Olympics, 16 other people did it. Why? When one person can do, then it is you broke the limits and therefore people can cross. So my friend, we are conditioned by belief. We are conditioned by belief. Therefore, what we must do? Transform our belief. From tomorrow when you go, transform your belief. What is the belief that you should transform? Transform the belief in this way. I am body with spirit. I am body with spirit. If you are living in your life with body with a spirit, it's like people walking. Have you seen people going for a walk with dogs? Like that. This is, you're taking the dog for a walk. Another way of walking is when dog. Now dog is taking you for a walk. So now the problem is that your body is now carrying you. The body has got the senses. The senses are captivated by the Maya world, and therefore we are originally dictated by the senses. And so your body is taken. It has hijacked you. The body has hijacked you and taken you to the destination of the senses. So he waited. You're not coming down. Nobody is coming up. Therefore, he himself came down. Why? To tell us, my friend, we have to change. Our belief have to change. And the belief change is that you have to do, I am spirit with the body. And he has to change this also. Yeah, I'm spirit. I'm spirit with the body. That means to say, my spirit now, I am the spirit. In fact, Swami said it nicely, you are God. What more better definition than, you are God. So that means when you wake up in the morning, every morning you should feel, I'm God. First word that comes out, Swami, thank you so much for giving me one more day. One more day, because I have another day with you. I have another day in life. So every morning you get up, you must feel a kind of inspired. Sathya Sai Baba devotees must be inspired every day to get up in the morning. Inspired because he gave us one more day to live. Not have Sai long face. One more day, I have to get up one more day. The same kitchen chore, same husband, same family. This man. Mahavishnu came down one day. Husband and wife were standing, all Padanamaskaram. He said, Mahavishnu said, I can take one of you to heaven. The husband said, darling, you go. The wife said, my God, you became so sacrificial. When you go to heaven, this place will become heaven. Terrible. What a relationship, not so good. So I am spirit with body. Spirit with body means from today onwards, change the belief. I am God. In fact, Swami is saying, I am Akanta Para Brahman, I am Satchidananda. All this he's saying. What is he? He's saying this to us. We have to affirm every day. Feel godly. Feel godly, you feel good. Feel enthusiastic. Every morning, you walk also, you must walk. Not walk. Good morning. Oh, what is so good about the morning? What kind of reply is that? That's not a reply. So the fact is, you are so cheerful. Tomorrow, when you go to work, you tell people, happy morning, everybody. Hey, hi there, how are you? What happened? I went for a conference. Yeah, so these are different. That is the impact of this conference to you and to the people around you. See, this is what it is. That is what life is. From tomorrow onwards, you should refuse to be unhappy and refuse to be sad. You should be all the time happy because you have God in your heart. Your Sai is in your heart. You should be. Listen. One day in the veranda, we were sitting there. Swami came out and Swami pointed, you go inside. 3 people went inside. Then Swami turned around, the wind blew, the door closed. Then he turned to us and said, nowadays they have interview even without me. Sense of humor, Swami's sense of humor. Everywhere is it's very nice to be happy, to be joyful. There's nothing to be sad about, my friend. Nothing to be sad about. Because when we're living for a short while, be happy and go. When I ask you, how are you? 1972, I came to Texas from India. Your tragic story starts from 72. But by the time you finish to 2025, I have to take 2 Panadols. So not necessary, isn't it? So I'm a spirit with body means I'm happy. Bhagavan said, guys, you change the slide? Okay. So Swami said, I'm indivisible, supreme, absolute. You have to believe this. You have to believe this. You have to believe this means that you say that Bhagavan is saying this. That means everywhere is Swami. In the car when you're going, you talk to Swami. In the flight, when I say, Swami, I'm going here, I'm going there. Every moment of your life, you must every time talk as a friend. Don't put him, Puttaparthi, Sainatha, Kailasa, Siva. Our problem is we put him in the locality. Because we think it is there. We cannot feel he's everywhere. That is the belief you have to change. So you don't have to go to some place and to experience. You sit where you are there. And that experience must be real. So this is what Swami said. Then, in fact, Baba said, you don't need any sadhana. Do as I say, and you will get the results in a moment. Baba, that is the problem. We cannot follow. We have a follow. One day, in center, one person was putting huge, big garland. So we told, Auntie, you should not, why waste so much money? Baba said, be simple. Why you put so much big flower? Swami said, be simple. Swami will say. What what a logical thing. So we will see. Yeah. So now, this is a very important part. I am confined to only the how and the what of all matters. This is very important. You remember how and what. We have to transform the belief. What belief it is? Watch this. This is where our problem is. Most of the time, we're getting stuck in what is called change. Transform the slide. Okay, this next one. So this is the circle. This is Simon Sinek's model, but it's a very good model to follow because it tells you these things. Look at that. Click. No, sorry. Yeah. So what? Most of the time, we are caught in the what world. What world? What is spirituality? What is all intellectual concepts, ideology, and all that? Then how to get there? Next one, you click. You go to how. So this is how. This is what sadhana have to do, how to do it, how to. So we remain in the what and the how. And this is how we spend the rest of, and we think we are spiritual. See, I'm trying to tell you, we have not got into the why. You cannot, if you do not have why, you cannot get passion. Only passion comes from why. But you remain in the what and the how, you are ritual. You come to why, it becomes spiritual. What is the difference between ritual and spiritual? 3 letters. SPI, Swami's purpose and intention. Add it to any ritual, it becomes spiritual. Yeah. Everything that you do, add this word inside. So you put a flower, why am I doing this flower? I did this, what did you do this for? You broke a coconut, break. And then, why you broke this coconut? Don't know, 100,000 Hindus are breaking it. I also broke it. Yeah. There are some people, 100 coconuts they break. I saw one person breaking. I went to the temple. You're breaking. No, they are breaking. Why you are not breaking? I outsource it to other people to break. Because it's tired. I'm telling you, honestly, I'm not joking. So he's standing there, and the other person is breaking the coconut. And he's watching that. So because it's a ritual, and he's just caught inside. We must not make Sathya Sai Baba into a religion. Put him in the altar, put him in the photograph, and then Swami, and then lock him in the center, and then come out outside. And then, Swami, I'll come next Thursday. Don't worry. So, in the office, everywhere, nothing else. And then back again, Thursday, we open, and then there. This makes Sathya Sai Baba religious. We got Hindu, Christian, Muslim, but Sathya Sai Baba organization is not a religious movement. It is a spiritual movement. It is here that you come to redeem, you come to understand the spiritual significances of all what you do in the thing. Once you understand that, you have the value. That's why the why is a very critical thing. Ask anyone, why you do this? What is the reason? Why? It's a very important point. If you don't ask that why, we get caught in the what and the how. So you have to be spiritual. In a wedding, this elderly lady was there, and the teenage 18-year-old girl was there. So wedding was going on. This lady poked. Hey, when is your turn? The girl got irritated. Then there came a funeral. The same 2 people was there. The girl asked, when is your turn? Why? Everything is short space. Everything is very fast. So you got to ask. From today onwards, keep on asking this question. Everything that you do, ask why. Swami said, if you don't ask this, Swami said this. This is what most beautiful of Bhagavan's words is that I'm confined. Swami said, click. Now from today onwards, ask why. Yeah. I'm now asking why. Now comes the most, for me this quote is the most amazing, incredible quote ever. I love this quote very much. Swami's statements. Every activity has a goal, an end in view. Proceeding to the market, going to school, each has a purpose. When such momentary and short-lived activities are motivated by goals, how can you pass 60, 70 years of life on earth with no purpose guiding and leading? Purpose gives taste to living. When the papu, not ready, papu is papu. So when the papu on your plate lacks upu, you push it aside. Okay, this is the mantra for you. When the papu lacks upu, discard. You have to do it like me. When the papu lacks upu, discard. Okay. Now, you must get up and do. Those who are not doing, heaven is not for you because gates of heaven is only open for those who are childlike. Christ said that. Okay. So please stand up. Now do this. Watch this. The leg must swag, okay? Must get the swag. Okay, if the papu does not have the upu, discard. Yeah. Now, your discard is not good enough because your discard is like this. Your head must flip. You got to flip. That's it. So, if the papu does not have the upu, discard. Oh, big hand, big hand. What amazing. Papu does not have upu. So, whatever you do, check and see. Your papu does not have upu. What's the purpose? 5 years ago, you did the same Guru Purnima celebration in your center. 4 years ago, you did the same. 3 years ago, every year, same Valmika's presentation. And then the prasadam will be brought. And you think the same crowd, 30 people. You should be asking, hey, what is the upu in this papu? Why are we doing this ceremony? Why can't we expand? Why can't we include other people? If you don't ask these questions, you're not why. And if you're not why, you're not spiritual. Finish. Full stop. You're ritual. See, that's a ritualistic thing. We should, by next Guru Purnima, next ceremony, you should bring more people. You should bring, let's bring it out to the community. Let's bring it out to society. Okay, then you have the purpose. The purpose is there. If not, you keep on repeating the same thing. Then the center chairman comes in, and the center chairman will maintain for the last 2 terms like that. And then when he's stepping down, other people behind will say, never mind, brother, you take over. Don't worry, we are behind you. Have you seen this in the center? People will say, we are behind you. You take over. You sure you will support? Sure. And then he takes this position. And then you turn behind, nobody around also. Upu, Papu lost the Upu. So, Papu is the boiled lentils. If boiled lentils don't have salt, you discard. If life does not have purpose, Baba said, it's like a rudderless boat in the ocean. The boat is lost. It's like a traveler without a desert, without a compass, he's lost. When these are lost, he's lost. So how you know you're lost? When you lose your meaning to life, you have no upu. When you lose sometimes in your life, I don't understand why I'm going to the Sai Center. You lost the upu. I don't know why I am sad. You lost the upu. When you're feeling sad, I don't know why God is doing to me. You go to Rama, Baba, Rama. I'm having big problems with my wife. And Sri Rama comes. My son, you call. Yes, I'm having a problem with my wife. Really? Where's your wife? At home. You know my story? They kidnapped her in front of me. You got a bigger problem than my problem? all the masters, all the teachers, everybody had problems. Everybody has problems. Everybody. The point is, as long as you don't lose the purpose. What's the purpose? Hey, by the time my life is redeemed, when it's all finishing, when I'm about to be portable, I must get Swami there. At the end, Baba must come. Swami, that's all. I will do my best. When I was a center chairman, everything was good. Now I have stepped down. I don't know what others are doing. Have you seen some people talk like this? I've stepped down. Now let them do. I am not involved in anything. Let others do. Yeah. And then when the time of death comes, moksha comes. Swami, moksha, let others do, Swami will say. When you're doing work with position, love with duty is only dharma. When you step down without post and position, you do. Love without duty is divinity. Your karmic merits shoot up like that. That is why you should be in the organization. That is why Baba said, never leave the organization. Baba said, never leave my organization. Doesn't matter. Other people come and join here. Come and join other organizations. Come and join. You tell, why should I join you? No, you can come to Swami. That is where you are here. We are also going to Swami. We'll meet you there, tell them. Yeah, that's how. Conviction must be there in our heart. Don't jump here, jump there, run there. Hey, let me tell you this. This is the truth. And this is where you are. You do your work sincerely and truthfully. You don't need to run after Swami. Swami will come to you. Why? Purity is enlightenment. Where is enlightenment? Swami, there you are. Don't have to run to play. In the interview room, I took my Swami's hands, put on my head. He said, what are you doing? I want enlightenment now, give it to me. I said, that is exact, my tone was also like this. I want enlightenment now, I thought there'll be, and then I'll just disappear. Give it to me now. Swami said, hey, enlightenment is not a business transaction for me to give you and for you to take. You have to earn. You have to earn. This is the highest thing in the world. Why should you settle for anything lesser? Go for the highest. Yeah. So, did you know 3% of all people have written goals? Did you know only 10% dream about changing them? Do you know 87% of the population live without goals? What are you going to do in 5 years? It all depends on Swami's grace. If he asks. This is how we reply. What are you going to achieve? I don't. This is all Bhagavan. We don't even think about the future. So how then we can achieve anything? So therefore, this is all what you call Andaja Pindaja. Don't worry about this. Okay, so remember you're the makers, the leaders, and the expectations of the avatar. So I want to show you another thing, another belief. Sathya is an extracurricular activity, and I still give time whenever I can. This is normally, it's extracurricular, so whenever time I can, I will do. You have to change the belief. What's the belief that you need to change? So this is how life is. Oh, I got to juggle so many things. I got to go to school. I got colleges to go to. I have got my housework. Then I got Sai Center. I go Thursday. I go to Sai Center and I pray, Swami, please maintain all my other things also, please, Swami. And then I got my wedding. I got married. I fell in love unnecessarily. Then I have a family now. And then I got children. I look after my eldest family. And this is life. And this is a normal life. So you do all the other things. And also we have one more thing, Swami's thing. And this is my life. And that's okay. That's okay. That's how we live. This must change. This has to change. So how to change? Bhagavan, how do I change this? Hey, Sathya Sai is the center and basis of all activities in my life, which means I juggle all these things, but right in the middle is Sathya Sai, which means to say Sathya Sai mission becomes the main thing that we need to do. Once you have the main thing, all the others can become side. You find side dishes also will be achieved. This is what? This, my friend, if you can forget this entire talk, don't forget this. This is the cogwheel. Right in the center is the cogwheel. I'm telling you from my 40 years of spiritual experience, don't worry about the smaller cogwheels. Family cogwheel, circuit cogwheel, your success cogwheel, your career cogwheel. Worry about Swami's mission. If you worry about Sathya Sai mission, you go to the main cogwheel, you know what? Everything else also moves. Everything also moves. Because your focus is on the cogwheel. You know, my mother 5 days ago, she was admitted, when she was breathing very hard. So I was holding the wheelchair. I was wheeling into the emergency. I was talking to the Chicago group of people. They're having study circle. My wife was holding the phone. So she was holding the phone, and she's walking with me. So the study circle is going on. So I'm talking, and pushing this. I didn't let go of this, because this is Swami's work. I won't let go. I'll finish my mother. The doctors came, took her, did all the things. But I never let this thing go, because Sathya Sai's work. 2.5 years ago, my wife was in the hospital. She was almost admitted. Life almost went in the operation theater. Very critical. 5 minutes into that, New Zealand devotees called me. Suresh, there's a leadership session. You must come on the call. I forgot all about it. So outside the operation theater, I was conducting a leadership program for New Zealand devotees for 1.5 hours. I did. I never said no. Swami taught me this. Swami taught me directly this. When my father passed away, I was in Puttaparthi. When I was in Puttaparthi, at that point of time, Baba, I said, Swami, my father, I know, he's with me. You stay here and do my work. Because I was doing the choreography, dance and all that. I'm quite crazy about drama and dance. So I was doing all that. Swami said, you stay here and do my work. Swami, my father's funeral, you got 2 brothers and sister? Ask them to do. I held Swami and said, Swami, if I don't go, the family, people will talk. People will always talk. Swami said. So he said, he walked into the interview room. He walked himself and brought one whole bag full of vibhuti. He gave it to me, and then he materialized vibhuti. He gave it, put it into your father's mouth. This one all you smear in the body. Then Swami, then 1-2 days you come back. I said, Swami, how to come back? There's no ticket. Hey, who will do the work here? He said like that. Who will do? So this now, my father is for me like my soul. It crushed. My entire thing was down, really at the bottom. But I left Puttaparthi, went to the funeral. My funeral was also a very big thing. I was crying, everything else. Then Brother Jaga told me, ask your mother. I went to my mother and asked, Swami is calling, what should I do? Swami is calling, you go back. So 1-2 days, I came back. 4 o'clock, I reached Puttaparthi. The final rehearsal I did, the last final rehearsal, Baba came out. Baba looked at me. All finished? I said, Swami, all finished. I was also emotional. All finished, Swami, all finished. Now you do my work, that's all. Then Swami, the ashes put in the Chitravati river. Let it go. You just do my work, that's all. Do my work, that's all. And so I was controlling the lights. I was the last 6:30, Swami came. I was doing the lights. When 6:30 I was there, I was doing the lights. The session, you need to control the light. My eyes were staring, couldn't see because I had to do red light, blue light, I have to do this. I wish I had Elton John's specs, his one's got Viper. So I was doing that, and we finished. That whole thing was over, and the play was very successful. I didn't have a chance to implode, so I finished. I did the Aarti for Swami, and then I ran from the place, ran to the far end of the thing to go somewhere and literally cry and break down. It was at that point, again, Swami's humor, somebody comes and touches me. Sai Ram, brother, the play was very, very good. I heard the director's father passed away. He's telling me. I said, yeah, the director's father passed away. It must have been very painful for him. I'm sure it must have been very painful for him. This dialogue is going on with the Swamis. So I said, yeah, it must be very painful. How is he managing? I hope he manages well. I also hope he's managing well. I said, then another brother comes by. Hey, Sai Ram, Suresh. Hey, you are Suresh. I didn't know. See, the point of the story is personal commitment, personal obligation, personal tragedy, personal thing is different from Sathya Sai mission. Sai mission must continue. Whatever happened, the mission of Sathya Sai must continue. So from this moment onwards, one thing you must never do, never give excuse. Make a resolution. From this moment, my belief is, I will never give an excuse to say I cannot do. Whatever you ask me, I will do. This is what the behavior change we must do. Change the behavior. And from, not, when is the next meeting? Saturday? Saturday I have. If you are busier than Obama, what can we do? Nothing can be done. You cannot be busier than them. So you have to commit. Whatever. This is the first priority. All the rest takes. Strangely enough, those young adults who are here, you listen to what I'm saying. Because I came to the Sai movement as a youth, doing my master's and PhD and everything else. I gave my time. I never said no, even at the height of my PhD. At the height of my PhD also, I never said no. Even the PhD people in Singapore University, Singapore is top 10 university in the world. When I was signing university, my professor at the back, hey, where are you from? Malaysia. So how long do you think it will take to finish? I'm telling you honestly, PhD, 4 years. I said, my mouth wanted to say 4. I don't know what happened. Swami is great. I accidentally said 2. 2, the professor laughed, 2 years is a bit hard, my friend. You're being too ambitious, He said, but the moment my tongue said 2, I repeated to the whole world, 2 years. I finished my PhD in 1 year, 8 months. But not by concentrating on the PhD. I did Swami's work, this one, play, drama, went here, travel, everywhere. I travel, everything. But I suddenly found, hey, discoveries are being made. I published 6 papers and got the National Young Scientist Award. When I came back, I got the National Young Scientist Award from Malaysia. Why? Baba said, you do my work, your Yoga Shema for this life and the next. That's what I'm telling the youth. Don't take 24 hours in the job, 24 hours in the career. You give your life to the mission of Sathya Sai. You will get back in rewards in abundance. You will get it back. That is what Swami's grace is. Problems will come. People wipe their feet on me all day long. I mean, really, what could possibly be worse than that? And the toilet paper said, you really want to know what could be worse than this? You could be worse than this. So people have problems, all sort of problems. Now, the question is that, please read slowly. If you have food over your fridge, you are 75% better than most people. You have money in your wallet, you are 18% of the world's wealthy people. You are alive today, more than health, than illness, you're more blessed than the million people who will not survive this week. If you actually read this message and understand it, you're more fortunate than 3 billion people in the world who cannot see, cannot read, or suffer mental retardation. Life is not about complaining. Life is not about sorrow. It's about 1,000 other reasons to be grateful to life. So my dear friend, you have to be grateful. Every moment of your life, be grateful, be happy that you're a woman. Be grateful that you're side. Be grateful that you have an organized. Be grateful that you've got good leaders to guide you. That itself is our grace, to have good leaders. Then comes the 4th one. Yeah, click if you change. Okay, and this is the last belief. This belief is, many people told, enlightenment is only for a few people. This is the biggest mistake, I'm telling you. People think this. This is like the earth is flat. If it is for 4 people, few people, Bhagavan should have come into the interview room, take the 10 people, train, talk to them and liberate them. Why should you talk to everybody? Today you have to understand that you and I have the potential to aspire for this higher state of consciousness. So refuse to be mellowed. Refuse to have, at this moment, I want to have peace. My friend, MSc is peace, but PhD is bliss. So peace is a way to get to bliss. But if you're not even peaceful for small things, then how? then cannot. You have to be peaceful. You have to be this. You have to really be happy and pray for the right things. The priest said, anyone here who has got any problems? That means, yes, I have a hearing problem. Come here. And he put one hand on the ears. Oh Lord, make my brother's ears work. Oh Lord, Lord, Lord. I prayed like that. And then after 10 minutes, he said, how is your ear? My ears are okay. I have a hearing problem in the magistrate court. So he prayed the wrong thing, hearing problem in the magistrate court. So he has a wrong problem. So pray for the right things in life and transform your belief. Everyone should aspire. Every Sai, Sadhak and Seva has to make Atma the basis of life. He should regard himself as the embodiment of the divine. That means now we should sit more and more in meditation, sit more and more and realize the Atma. Why is that so? Because Baba said this whole world can only be saved, redeemed only by Atma. That's why thirdly he said, hey, Atma Sarupa. He's calling all of us Atma Sarupa, means we are the embodiments of the Atma. We have an answer to the world. We can help to rescue and do many things in the world. We are your USA, whatever that you have done. You know, the leaders who came here. Other people came here and acknowledged your contribution. This is very inspiring. It is videotape. It will be, I'm sure many other people in the country will see you have set an example. Others must say good things about Sathya Sai Baba. Others must say good things about Swami's devotees. This is what mission work is all about. We can become the most reputed, most recognized, and most organization that excels excellence. That is how we should aspire for. We must be feeling proud. Look at the last, this is the final message today. Baba said, this is the last thing that I should like to impress. Swami himself said, last thing I should like to impress on you at this conference. This is our country, numerous poor, helpless, and diseased persons who suffer from hunger. There are today lakhs of members of Sai organization, even a larger number of Sai devotees. Let each member, while leaving this conference, resolve to leave to at least one poor person. That means what he's telling, 10 regions cannot function, no more function like 10 separate entities. 10 fingers must combine together and become one hand. When you're one hand, you are impactful, you are resourceful. You will now use everything. USA sends, whatever USA does, oddly enough, the whole world follows. That is the problem. You guys will wear one nice brand new jeans and cut here. I don't know why Malaysians are also doing that. Everybody is cutting. Hey, what happened to you? America is doing it. So let them do what is your problem. No, America is doing, we must do. Okay, if that's the case, let's do positive things. Let us do good things. The world will follow you. Malaysia does anything and scream on the top of the head. Malaysia is a small country. But America, whatever, oh, Americans, America. So do it. So now you have a responsibility, not just for your country. You have a responsibility to redeem lives of the whole world. Redeem life for the whole world. And that is what this conference should do. Bring about, reignite the spirit, bring about higher aspirations, and live the life that, oh Lord, thank you. Because when we crash, when we die and we go, Swami must come. You've done your work. Come. Now you come to me. That is the feeling. Every moment of life, hey, when I finish my life, you must be there. Whatever it is, you receive me. I'm coming to you. The river must go to the ocean. Don't stop halfway. Don't be in a puddle. Don't come back next life. Why should you come back? Finish it now itself. And then that, if you have that yearning, where Swami said, grace is proportional to effort. If I take from this moment effort, I strive for meditation, I do whatever I can to get the grace, Swami's grace will be plentiful. In that grace, we take refuge. In that refuge, we realize who we are. And who we are nobody except God. That method acting that you talked about is what it is all about. We are now method acting. We are acting like a husband, we are acting like a wife, we are acting. But who we really are, we forgot. That's why he has come to remind us that you are God. And we have to keep on reminding that. And that particular solution is what is going to make this world, redeem this world, and make it a safe place. The next 35 years, the world is going to change so much that in the last 1,000 years, you have not experienced. That's a prediction. So when this world changes, the solution to the world is our Atmic force of positivity, of nice, beautiful nature. We then redeem and we say, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Atma Brahma, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. I am He, I am Me, Swami. I finally come to you, Sai Ram. And when we come to you, what we say, what is that? Sai. What is that? S-I-G-H. No, but when you sigh only at Sai. Sai Ram, thank you so much. By the way, this is my last. Thank you so much for inviting me to this conference. I'm so honored and humbled to be here. Really, I'm really humbled to be here. I really loved this conference. It was so beautiful, inspiring. All of you guys are really out of the world for the kind of things that you do. App, everything is app. You know, I talked with, we got this app, we got that. The IT, US guys are all app. They're there. US people there. Everything is so good, so fantastic. I hope that this whole thing that you have done will spread to the world. Thank you so much, Sairam. Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for agreeing to grace and give permission for me to come. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you, Dr. Govind, for that very inspiring talk filled with humor and powerful messages. Some key takeaways from your talk are introspecting if every activity that we do is leading to productivity, transforming our beliefs from I am the body with the spirit to I'm the spirit with the body, and when your pappu lacks uppu, discard it. And if we keep Swami at the center of our life, everything will fall in place. Thank you once again for that very inspiring talk. Coming up next is a workshop on Discover the Oneness through Self-Transformation. How blissful would it be if we can experience this oneness sooner rather than later? Let us hear and learn about Swami's teachings on how to work on this journey of personal transformation. Presenting this workshop today is Brother Sai Prabhu Prem Kumar. He's from Region 5, Michigan. Swami has blessed him with many roles in the organization, and he currently serves as the National Deputy EnviroCare Coordinator. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Brother Sai Prabhu.
Quick picture of everyone. So can everyone not leave yet? I'm going to take a quick picture.
Lighting is not great.
Before we move on to the next part of the program, I have some quick housekeeping announcements. We will not be taking a break today. The exhibition is still open, so if you have not had a chance to visit the booths, please do today. Return your lanyards before you leave at the registration area. And the raffle winners, please pick up your prizes from Brother Shiva Paturi. The winners are Brother Bhaskar Keshavla, Deepthi, Varadagaram, Hansa Venkatraman, and Shalini Sundaram. Thank you. We will move on to the workshop next.
Loving Sai Ram, everyone. Is there anything I can do to convince you going after Dr. Suresh Govind? I'm going to try my best to complement what he said and what others have been saying throughout this conference. And as I see people leaving, it reminded me of something. You know, in Sai Kulvantal, there are hundreds and thousands of people who go to Swami. And then very few get the opportunity to sit in the first few rows. This was, I'm referring to when Swami was in his physical form. And then out of the few, very few get to go into the interview room. I would like to say that it feels like you are all the chosen ones today, remaining here, trying to understand how we can discover our oneness, and I'll try my best to complement what Dr. Suresh Govind said. So, from Swami's perspective, Swami says oneness is being with God always. And Swami also said, if we are one with God, all the sufferings would fall apart right away. How cool it will be if we don't have any suffering. It's not cool? Yeah. And I'm going to do a quick poll here and ask you, how many of you feel like in your spiritual practice, you are being very slow with your own expectation? Please raise your hand. Do you feel that you are being slow? How many of you feel you are making progress when compared to your own expectation? Good, thank you. How many of you feel you are just where you are when compared to last year? Some of you feel that. And do any of you feel you are moving forward and backward all the time? Sunday forward, 6 days backward, Sunday forward, 6 days backward. So what if I told you we can drop all that idea and all there is this focus in now? If we can focus in the now and be the best version of ourselves, can we give our utmost love to someone we are talking to? Can we give our utmost kindness to someone we are talking to? Can we be non-judgmental in a moment? Can we focus on the now and do that? When we do that, something powerful happens, and that is oneness. And let's see how we can get there in the next few minutes. So to do that, I brought my friend, our friend, because he's an SSIO member, and his name is Ram. And I'll let you guys know in advance, Ram has a lot of questions. Because when I presented this idea about oneness, he started fundamentally asking some questions about what is self-transformation. And I thought I should try and help him, but I realized we have Swami. So why not take Swami's help and understand what self-transformation is? So one day Ram went to drop off some food items for soup kitchen, and he did not know there was study circle happening in the center. So his study circle coordinator saw him, and immediately he was caught red-handed to come and sit. How many of you attend study circle voluntarily? Voluntarily. Okay, 5 of you. Good. I think the number might have been a little better if everyone was there, but this is good. So he happened to catch this part of the presentation.
అందరూ భగవంతుని యొక్క అంశములే. All are the sparks of the divine. కేవలం నీ దేహాంశము కాదు. You are not the spark of the body. ప్రపంచాంశము కాదు. Not of nature. నీ యొక్క ఆత్మతత్వమే నీవు. You are the very self. దీనిని మమయంశో జీవలోకే జీవభూత సనాతనః. నీవు దైవాంశమే. You are the spark of the divine. ఈ సత్యాన్ని మీకు ప్రబోధించే నిమిత్తమై ఈ విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క సంస్థలను ప్రారంభించి ఈ సంస్థల ద్వారా ప్రచార ప్రబోధములు సలిపి ఈ నిత్య సత్యమైనటువంటి యొక్క దివ్యత్వాన్ని ప్రకటించే నిమిత్తమై సంస్థలను ప్రారంభించాము. The organization is started with the sole purpose to know this truth and to share this truth with everybody all around.
This particular piece of Swami's discourse sparked something in Ram, because he was thinking the goal of the organization or the purpose was to organize activities, organize bhajans, and he would go and participate and be part of it and have this good feeling, which is all true. But Swami did not have that purpose. Swami brought all of this together for a higher purpose, and that is for our oneness. So as he was thinking through this, he was wondering how he can do, how we can transform. So again, going back to Swami's teachings, Swami said there are two ways to transform. So I'm going to use the onion here as an example because you can, if you think of the oneness as the core of the onion, you can either peel the onion from outside, meaning you can let go of your identity, you can let go of all the things you do, let go of Sai Prabhu singing the bhajan, Sai Prabhu doing the service, and if we let go of that, eventually we will get to the oneness. Or the other way is, we can realize that I am the one with God, and everything will fall apart by itself. We don't have to make any effort. What do you guys think in this scenario Ram should do? Should he choose the peeling from outside to inside? Should he go from outside to inside? Anybody? Raise your hand. He should do from outside to inside. Okay. How many of you think he should do from inside to outside? Okay. It's not an easy job, right? But what if we told Ram that he has both the options? Can we provide that to Ram? Because in certain situations, outside to inside is easier. In certain situations, inside to outside is easier. For example, you can continuously meditate on a regular basis, which will develop the inside out. And in certain examples, you are serving, but letting go of the attachment, and that will help you in the transformation. So now we change the definition of onion for Ram, because all the while he was thinking onions were used only for making bhajis and onion rings. Now we have given a new definition to him. So as soon as we think about doing something good, and I can tell you right now, when we leave from this place, outside of these doors and outside of this hotel, the first thing that is going to hit is, yeah, those 3 days were good, but how can I practically do it, you know? I have all this work, I have family, and even Dr. Suresh alluded to it, right? So the first thing the mind tries to tell us is, oh, you have all these barriers, and you cannot go beyond these barriers. Is that true? Do you all feel, how many retreats you have attended, right? How many bhajan sessions you have attended? Do we know what happens? You all know what happens after we go from there, right? So we want to teach the mind to look beyond these barriers. And I am a computer engineer by profession, and we have this unwritten rule which says that 80% of the problem is caused by 20% of the root cause. So what it means is, if I find the 20% of the root cause and solve it, then I could fix 80% of the problem. And with my experience talking to a lot of Sai devotees from different age groups, I kind of narrowed down two things in my experience talking to all of you. Yeah. So the first one is attachment. This is one of the 20% of the problem we have. And what I mean by that is Swami has given a lot of things to Ram, right? From a personal standpoint, he has given the body, he has given a family, friends, he has given the school, work. These are all on the personal side. And he set up the organization with all these activities. And if I may use here a treadmill as an analogy, what happens is we are doing all these activities so well, but we are caught up with the act of doing. So we are not able to see beyond what is happening. So we are doing all of this well, which has its own benefit. But to attain oneness, we have to go beyond the act, beyond these activities. So if we just let go of the feeling that we are attached to this, and we will still do. Please don't go back and stop doing service, don't stop teaching SSE. That is not the idea. Please, we have to continue to do it, but just let go of the attachment. And the second problem that I identified was inconsistency. And the way we look at inconsistency is from the perspective of the world, because the world makes us inconsistent. And what I mean by that is, let's say this wave represents the ups and downs of the world, this red wave. And if we are not consistent with our transformational practice, what is going to happen? Ram is going to ride along this wave. Whenever there is something positive in the world, let's say stocks were doing good, he's going to be happy. Whenever he hears a negative news, he's going to be sad. So he will just keep riding along the wave. And if we look back, what happened, his transformational efforts were not consistent. It was weak. One day to a center in a week, doing one service project is not enough because it's very weak. It is still good, but it is weak. You can see it is still there on the timeline. So what do we want to do? Obviously, the answer is right in front of us. We want to improve our transformational practices, right? It has to be a consistent practice. There will be ups and downs, like in this graph. It is not going to be a steady practice. There will be ups and downs. And if you go down, do not worry about it. There will be some bad days. But the idea is we have to consistently practice it. Don't beat yourself up. Does the world going to change because we are practicing transformation? Yes? How many of you feel yes? Does the world will change? Yeah? So rest of you, I assume you don't think the world will not change, right? And that is true for a minute, because if we all are transformed, then the world changes. But if only a few of us are practicing, the world will still remain. But what will happen to Ram? He's not floating with the world. He's going to have a consistent emotion. He's going to be consistent with his thought process. So two barriers will come right off the bat when you leave this place, which is attachment and inconsistency, and we have to tackle it. And Swami beautifully said that the way to be detached is just say, I'm being an instrument of Swami, and everything else will detach itself. That's the easiest way to do. And to be consistent, we just practice in the now, which I mentioned earlier. So these theories are good, right? So far it is sounding good. But when I was thinking about this a few weeks back, I thought maybe we should put this in practice, right? Otherwise, it all becomes just theory. So I kind of recruited 4 members, one of them being myself, to see if I can be an example to this theory. And I tried to share this idea with them and say, can you practice something that you would like to transform in your life? And I want to thank them a lot because they immediately said yes, and they wanted to practice, and I shared this idea. So we have Hasini, we have Hari and Dr. Joe and myself who participated in this to see how it goes, and let's hear from them now.
Saram everyone, like any other high schooler, one of the challenges I face in my daily life is social media. I get distracted very easily and often find myself putting
I've been doing it for the last
Saram everyone, like any other high schooler, one of the challenges I face in my daily life is social media. I get distracted very easily and often find myself putting aside my schoolwork to scroll through posts and reels. The hardest part is that once I get distracted, it's really difficult to bring my focus back to my tasks. I realized I needed to work on controlling my mind so that I can stay focused and complete my schoolwork on time. To help myself, I started tracking how I went on social media and why I did it and what difference it made when I stayed off of it. I noticed a big improvement in the quality and the speed of my work when I avoided social media. But when I did go on it, I would get carried away watching reel after reel and end up losing valuable time, which pushed my work back and made me more stressed. Like many kids, it's not easy for me to stay away from social media, but I truly wanted to give it an honest try. So far, I've made about 60 to 70% progress, and I'm continuing to work hard to reach 100%. I hope to keep improving one step at a time by practicing self-control and staying committed to my goal. Thank you for listening, and Sairam.
Yeah, please. It definitely deserves applause because in just a couple of weeks, Hasini is here, but to save time, we made a video. She was able to reduce 60 to 70% of the time watching social media, and she's putting it to good use. Did you notice the word quality? She said she is putting that time to quality use. And now we have Dr.
I've been doing it for the last 3 days, and I have been using old school methods rather than my phone. I'm using my gratitude journal, which I continue to use on a daily basis, and I've added to it the following things that I am working on a daily basis with great intensity and focus. And that is Namasmarana. Swami told us in an interview when we asked him how often we should do Namasmarana, because we're all busy doctors. Swami, we're busy. Swami's answer to us was, do Namasmarana constantly, incessantly. So that's what I'm working on, and also to see Swami in everyone, including myself, and in all creation, including the airplanes I see in the runway right out in front of me. Anyways, when I start the day with this program and continue it throughout the day and do it throughout the day, it's just amazing the extra energy I have, the joy, satisfaction, and thinking about God all day, repeating God's name and seeing God in everyone in all creation. Doesn't get any better than that. Om Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Dr. Joe, for that. And as you can see, how it has transformed his life, continuously chanting Namasmarana. And obviously, I said we have to be exemplars in Swami's world. So I put myself to test here, and hope you can hear the background music, because when we made the video, we gave them a background music. So I also wanted something going for my experience sharing. So I have a very bad sweet tooth habit, and I eat a lot of sweets. I could just live on sweets. So I thought, why not I give up that as part of my transformation? So I with it, and every time I would have a craving, I just started saying no, no, no. And just within 3 weeks, I don't eat anything that has processed sugar or sweet, chocolates, anything like that. Oh. Thank you. And if this was a company marketing its product, they would say, it's the new Sai Prabhu with the old sweetness minus the sugar. So that's how I feel now, because I completely stopped and I don't feel the craving anymore. And other thing I realized during this process is discipline is greater than motivation and inspiration. What I mean by that is inspiration and motivation are helpful, but when it comes to achieving something, discipline will be the one which will be taking us further the line. So that is a big lesson I learned during this process. Moving on, I know we all have different ways to monitor transformation, but we are trying to build, or we have built a tool that could help you if you need. So this tool was built with the idea that you can say what you want to transform in your life, and you start your morning with the prayer, and then throughout the day you can check in. And behind the thought process behind that is, Swami said, start the day with love, spend the day with love, and end the day with love. And towards the end of the day, you can check in with Swami. We want to make this personal connection to Swami. We all know this connection with Swami is personal. So you can respond to questions like, have you did well? Let's say you are working on being kind. Were you kind to your co-workers? Answers will be no, kind of, or yes. And when you say no, we are giving a warning face of Swami. That way you know that, okay, next time you should do better. And then if you say kind of, Swami is neutral. And if you say yes, Swami is happy. So the more you collect Swami being happy, it will be your own personal reflection and connection with Swami. And if you want it, it will be available and it will be shared after the conference. So now we saw part one, which is us as all the members. And if you remember what Swami said in this discourse, he talked about the organization. That means organization is made up of officers too. So I thought, what can we do to help officers and take help from them? And here I have Lakshman, who is an SSIO officer, and let's see if he could help Lakshman with something. And one of the things that came to my mind was, how about talk to officers? I have been an officer, but it's the roles and responsibilities are a little different and people do it differently. So I thought, why don't I interview some of the officers in the nation and see what they are doing. So what I wanted to talk with them was about their responsibilities. What are they performing? What are their responsibilities, day-to-day responsibilities? And when I started talking to them, I came to know that most of them are organizing a lot of events, center level, regional level, planning and preparing for study circle materials. They are even on calls for at least 10 hours in a week. And some of them are one-on-one calls, some of them are center and national planning calls. And then they open and close the center. Because we started going back, they literally do that and welcome new members. And the responsibilities keep going on and on and on. There were endless responsibilities. And there was one question I asked at the end of this interview per se. And I asked them, what are we doing to help in the transformation journey of the members? Are we giving them an environment or a platform to share what they are doing? And there was silence, there was no, and they said they're too busy with all the other activities. And some of them even said it's Swami's responsibility because Swami has to transform them. So that made me thinking what we can do from that perspective. So I thought we can do something simple by giving some guidelines to the officers. And this is something where we can think about having a small reflective session after every service activity. We go, let's say you are doing tree planting or soup kitchen. Before you leave, the last act of that service activity should be a reflection. Even if 1 or 2 members could share what they have learned or how they experienced, I think it will be great. And then the next one we can try and do is at the centers, because we all meet at the centers, most of us. And when we are meeting at the center, then maybe we can ask them to give them a few minutes at the end of the time, center time, to share their journey. And we can allocate 3 to 5 minutes in the calls. How many calls have we been to organize this national conference retreat? So if we give just 3 minutes for someone to share, I think that will be an opportunity for them to share their journey and inspire others too. And going on, obviously, we want to make sure the offices are also growing and transforming. So the way it will look like is in a structural ways, center officers giving opportunity to the center members, regional officers giving opportunity to center officers, and national likewise to regional. So that way we are all in this together and we are all able to grow, because officers also have to transform and we have to keep this cycle going. And when this happens, we don't have to worry about trying to find new officers. How many of you have gone through that process, right? When the term changes, it is difficult. But when we focus on the transformation, when we give that power of transformation, it becomes very easy. So what can we do? We can just simply ask in any of this setting, how is your transformation journey going? As simple as that. No, we don't have to set any precedents. We don't have to set any goals for them. Just ask, how is your transformation journey going? And you can do this in all these different places. And obviously, I want to put this also to a test or experiment with it. I like to think that we are in parallel with Gandhi, where Gandhi experimented with the truth and we are experimenting with transformation. So I kindly requested my regional president, Ramesh, because we are in the process of planning our retreat in September, and we started our meetings, I asked him if you can just ask this question in one of the planning meetings. And he did that, and let's hear from him what his experience was just by giving that opportunity.
Sairam, I would like to share one of a very fulfilling, transforming experience. Before one of these retreat planning meetings, I was given the opportunity to kind of talk about what kind of spiritual transformation is happening as a part of the service. So when I opened this up in the call, one person shared, and then the second person shared, and then every person was coming up with a variety of other positive, transformative thoughts. And this retreat planning meeting, which had a lot of things that we had to discuss and back and forth discussions, suddenly became a very transformative experience with full of reflections, self-reflections, and it felt like very uplifting. It was like very uplifting experience when we did this kind of a thought process. So I'm really bought on this aspect of thinking about it, and so we are planning to implement this in every call in the future. Thank you. Saira.
Thank you, Ramesh. And just by asking this simple question, you can see how that call just moved away from all the planning and the logistics to a very uplifting call. And again, like I said, those are all important, but we need to keep focusing on what our end goal is. So if I may do a quick poll and ask all of you, if such an opportunity is given to you by asking how is your transformation journey going at after your center or after service, do you all think it will be helpful for you by raise of hands? Okay, 100%. So no one is sleeping. Thank you. So that being said, why don't we just take this opportunity right now? I'm going to ask that question, how is your transformation journey going? So I'm going to play some music. What we can do is, please think about it for a minute, and then you can turn to your neighbor, whoever is sitting next to you, and just share with them, how is your transformation journey going? Just with your neighbor. It's not if you don't have a neighbor, share it with Swami. So once we start sharing, it never ends, right? So we'll wrap it up in 10 seconds. Okay. Thank you. How did it feel for all of you to share your journey? Okay, good. If it is good, can you raise your hand? Okay, thank you. And I just want to make sure there is one thing that should be absolutely clear in this process. It is not about sharing that I made an improvement. It's not about I made these leaps and bounces of changes in my life. It is about sharing your journey. So, like I said, some days are going to be good, some days are going to be bad. It is about the reflection, not about the progress that you're making. Eventually, this all will come together, but the more we reflect, at least it will set in our minds that what we want to do next. So thank you all for participating in the reflection, and I hope when we go back, we get more opportunities, and we will try to work with officers to see if this can be an opportunity that can be given to everyone. And that being said, I'm going to come to my concluding thoughts to summarize what we have gone through in this quick workshop. The first one is, like I said, focus on the now. Swami said, it is not just now, it is the omnipresent now. So how powerful it is when we can be the kindest, when we can be the most loving in this now, and when we keep stacking this up, oneness is going to happen, and it will happen. Overcome your barriers and attachments. Please remember, after we step out of this conference room, after we step out of this hotel, first thing that will hit our minds are barriers. So let's make sure we remember about attachment and inconsistency. So let Swami do the work, let's be just the instrument, and let's do this activity of now and being in the now consistently. And be disciplined with the practice, because it will carry you even if you are not motivated and even if you are not inspired. And always set some time aside for reflection. This is very personal to me, because when I started doing this on a daily basis, a lot of things revealed about myself and what Swami was trying to teach us. So please try your best to have a practice of doing reflection on a daily basis. And that being said, thanks for your time, and hope I was able to compliment to the speakers that went before me, and have a good journey back home. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Sai Prabhu. That was a really wonderful workshop. My key takeaways were living in the presence and spending time for personal reflection. And thank you for all those practical tips that we can do at the centers to make this happen. Sairam. Next, we have the concluding part of the conference coming up. We have first Dr. Jack Feely. He will start us off with this conclusion segment. Dr. Jack Feely is the Central Coordinator for SSSIO-USA. I'd like to invite him to the stage.
I want to first loving Sai Rams to all of you, and I want to first offer my pranams at the lotus feet of my own and our own Sri Sathya Sai. Om Sai Ram, and thank you, Swami, for everything in my life, and I expect all of you want to thank him for everything in your life. What a weekend, huh? What a weekend. You know, this big sign behind me says, Sri Sathya Sai, a mission of love. This is our mission. He's given us a mission of selfless love. We think this is going to end soon, don't we? In just a minute, I'm going to tell you, this may never end. And I'll tell you what I mean about that. But I also believe that everybody who's been here this weekend, it wasn't because we did our work. Yeah, we registered, we got the play. This is not us. We're here because he wanted us to be here. We may understand why. We may tomorrow, next week, realize why we were here. I've been realizing up and down the entire 4 days I've been here. But I think there's more I'm going to learn about why I've been here. Because I think Swami gives us exactly what we need even before we realize we need it. I grew up Catholic in St. Louis, and I grew up, my parents were from Ireland, so I grew up not just regular Catholic, Irish Catholic, which is a more impassioned Catholic. So I had nuns in primary school, a religious order of teaching brothers, like not priests, but they more like monks, but they dedicated to teaching, and a Jesuit university. And people say, why didn't you become a priest? That wasn't what Swami wanted me to do. But when I was a young adult, I started learning that there's a lot of denominations in Christianity. In fact, there's more than we realize. We may know, may know about 6 or 8 or 10. If I tell you, you won't believe it. Google it sometime. There's more denominations in Christianity than the number of people I will ever know in my entire lifetime. It's that many, and it's hard to believe. But I started realizing the different denominations seemed critical of other denominations, which made no sense to me as a young adult, because we're all learning the teachings of Jesus Christ. but we're critical of other denominations. So in 1978, Swami, somehow a book came to me, a Sai book, and I started paging through it, and I came across one of his teachings about the unity of all religions, and I thought, this is what I've been looking for. I didn't even know I was looking for this. And as I read more and more Sai literature, I realized this is where I want to be. And I thought it was up to me, but it was up to the Lord. Several people have said something about this weekend that I'm going to say right now. I grew up from birth in this country, and there's more division and suspicion in this nation and in this world than I've ever experienced. There's more fear and hatred in this nation, in this world, than I've ever experienced. And from Swami and what I've learned from him and his teachings, his discourses, and my experiences with him, this is what I've learned. When hate is loud, love must be louder. When fear and suspicion is loud, love and kindness must be louder. When division is loud, unity must be louder. And by loud, I don't mean our volume of our voice. I mean beyond the voice. And I'll explain that in a minute. This weekend has been so important to me because for quite some time, I'm a psychologist and I've been dealing with people who feel the same way about the world and the nation that I do. But this weekend, the love was so loud. The unity was so loud. The joy was so loud all weekend. The camaraderie, the connections were so loud. I could see, well, I looked at people, maybe it's the psychologist in me, I looked at people, and they weren't really saying anything or they're speaking calm, but the compassion was so loud. This is, I thought, okay, thank you, Lord. This is what I've been looking for, and I didn't even realize I was looking for it. So this weekend, how do I sum up this weekend? There's so much. Let me start with just a few of the things that people shared with us that we received from them. Starting even with the guests we had the very first day, the mayor, the deputy mayor, some of the CEOs of nonprofit organizations. I realized listening to them, they did their homework. They read about our organization. They read about the values of Swami. They read it not just in literature we gave them because we were doing outreach, but they were doing something different. This is my belief. They were trying to validate what they're doing that was in line with what we're saying we do. You know, so we're not just saying come and learn what us, they read about it. Because they were talking about the values they do. Well, we do these things too, and I believe it. But they were looking for validation, and we didn't need to be. We already had validation. And I was so glad that many of these guests were here during the multi-faith presentations. And then there were the music presentations, including the multi-faith music presentation programs. The panel discussions were stimulating. The exhibitions, I was fortunate in the beginning to take time to go to all 10 regional presentations out there and get a sense out of what they were doing. The workshops, I was involved with the stress management workshop, but I started asking people about what they think of the other workshops. It was all so positive. One young lady even said to me, I was in stress management, how did you pick out? How did the organization pick out? I said, it was truly all random. She said, Oh, no, it wasn't. I needed this. But I think in the other workshops, the same attitude came. Then there was the Head, Heart, and Hands program, which was intriguing. And then when we thought, or certainly what I thought, how can it get any better? Then we had the children's program and the YA program. Oh my gosh. The children's program and then it was so touching. The little girl it was an orphan, her name was She Who Is Alone. It was her and her sacrifice saved her entire adopted tribe because she was an orphan. And that program reminded me, those of you who were there, 2010, the national program based on our Native American culture, and it was like that came on the stage here the other night. And then the YA program. I've told several people, the YA program, our young adults here, the quality, the creativity, the talent was at least the same, better than most of the cultural programs I've seen before Swami at Prashanti Nilayam. I mean, we can start applauding and never stop. And the messages that they gave us, passion can change policy, but compassion changes me, changes us. So the key, and at the end, what is the key? Compassion is the key. Now, respite for me. Now, a respite is different than a vacation. When people take a vacation, they just want to get away from the stuff of the world and relax on a beach or in the mountains. A respite is something different. A respite isn't an escape. It's getting away from the stuff of the world, but it's a replenishing, not just fun or relaxation, but a spiritual replenishing. And this exactly has been what that was for me, a respite. Question is, oh, by the way, when I said, I thought before the children's program and young adult that how could this get better? I was reminded, growing up Catholic, if y'all know this, in the New Testament, the story of the marriage feast at Cana, Jesus was there with his mother, and perhaps Joseph was there too, but Mary told her son, Jesus, I've noticed the bride and groom are afraid because there's the wine is we don't have enough. They don't have enough wine, and so wine at a marriage feast was probably as important as food in an Indian wedding. But imagine running out of food at your daughter's wedding. So Mary asked Jesus, do something, and Jesus, like every good son the son of a good son of an Indian parent, and a good son of an Irish parent, and a good son of a parent in Jerusalem. He said what he did. He just did. He multiplied. He took the water and changed it into wine. But then the shocking thing to everybody, normally they offer the best wine in the beginning because people get satiated. And here I got some here. Thank you. People get satiated, and they think, the not-so-good wine is the end. The best wine was what Jesus made. And in our program, we ended with the best last night. So when people go on vacation, and I've said it myself, maybe you all have said it too, say, I'm so relaxed, and I feel so good. I want to bring this feeling back home with me. And we try to. And I think Alex pointed this out the other day. you bring it back for a day or two, and then you lose it. It dissolves. But we have something at a Sai respite that people don't have in a vacation. We can bring this back because we have divine grace. And if we're open and ask Swami, help me keep this feeling, keep this feeling, keep this feeling, I think we can have it for much longer. Maybe it can even grow. One last thing. I thought this was 25 years ago, my wife and I were visiting some devotees in Casablanca, and we had a wonderful time, and at the end, after several days, we're at the doorway. Their driver's going to take us to the airport, and this cook, who has a contract for 2 years, didn't speak English, but he knew how much we loved his food. Every meal was better than the previous. He came, he handed to the door. He had a silver platter with small crystal cups filled with water and a plate of sugar cubes. We didn't know what to do. Harold said, he wants you to take a sip and eat that sugar. So we did. He had a big smile and he left. She said, he's never done that he's only done that for our family. So obviously your family now. It means he's wishing us sweet memories of our trip there. So I want you to imagine that we just received a crystal cup of water and a piece of sugar. And we drink that water, we taste that sugar. And I wish for all of us sweet memories of this weekend at our conference together. Have a safe drive home, flight home, and loving Sairams to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Feely. Like you said, the love and unity at this conference is louder than anything around us, what we're experiencing in the current world. I'd like to invite our National SSC Coordinator, Sister Aparna Murali, to share her concluding remarks.
Sairam. I think this is the second time this weekend I've been in the hall, and I want to first express my gratitude to Swami, to our awesome national team, to all the SSC coordinators, teachers, parents, and children. I think I can keep saying thank you. Manjula is here, and I see some of the other coordinators also. I can keep saying thank you endlessly. But as most of you know, I love stories, so I have 3 stories to share. Actually 4. I'll be very quick. The first one is from a mom. She found me Friday morning at the breakfast table, and she said, Aparna, I have to talk to you. I know you're very busy, but I'll make it quick. And she looked at me and she said, my son is 8 years old, and this is the first time I'm able to sit in a conference and really rejuvenate my own spiritual practices and not worry about my child because he is having such a great time. The second story I have is from an SSC teacher. She actually drove with other center members from St. Louis here, and she was just volunteering for one session, and she came and told me, these kids are too smart. They were doing an activity where they drew a heart and they had to write something very sweet, and she was helping all the children, and she said one of the girls came up to her, she's probably 7 or 8 years old, and she said, can I give you my flower? And the teacher said, yes, of course, and then she read the flower. It said, you are so kind. And that's what the teacher is taking back with her. The third story is my own, and I want to end with the child. I think when I reflect back on this festival and the conference preparation, I may not remember what we did, but I will definitely remember with whom we did the planning and how we did it. Those are the two things that's going to stay with me for the rest of my life. And the last story is a child who was one of the singers for the Native American play. This morning I saw him and I asked him, so are you having a good time? Are you enjoying the festival? And I said, so what will you remember about this festival? He paused. And I was thinking, oh, did I ask a very adult question to him? And then he looked up and he said, you mean, will I come back again? Of course. Thank you so much. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sister Aparna, for that short and sweet reflection. Of course, I will be coming back to the next conference too, and I hope everyone here will. Next, I'd like to invite Brother Harish Naidu, President of the National Council, SSSIO-USA, to share his concluding remarks.
Sai Ram, everyone. Are we ready to leave? This has been an amazing conference. But I do want to share a few words. The work is not done yet. There's a lot of work to do in Swami's mission. I know we talked a lot about self-transformation and methods and means, but the easiest way is to just do Swami's work. And Swami has said that self-transformation is a side effect. Just do my work. Just listen to me. Self-transformation is automatic. So there's a lot to do. We had a workshop on direction, vision, where could we go as an organization? And we are still collecting some of the thoughts. There's lots of thoughts that came. I'll give you some samples. 100% of all members of the centers go to study circle. It's a vision statement. 100% of all members are trained in EHV. Vision statement. Because we have to learn to communicate with the outside world. We are very comfortable in communicating within ourselves. We don't even have the vocabulary to communicate with the outside world. We need to do that because Swami said, again, just listen to him, do what he wants. He wants his message to be spread. So we have to do that. A lot of work to be done there. Every center has a community meeting every week. Vision statement. That'll be wonderful. We have to not only think about ourselves, not only think about people who are devotees of Swami. There's everyone else also who are in need of this message. We have to have that vision. How long do we take to achieve that? We'll see. But there could be others too. What if we have a free medical clinic in every region? Wow. Would it be great to have our own conference facility? Yes? How do we get there? Should we have Sai schools in the US? How do we get there? A lot of work to be done. So we will continue. This conference is hopefully a rekindling of our sort of energy within us, the Swami within us, so that we can continue to do his mission, to do his work. A lot has gone into making this conference happen. And you know, the seeds were planted. You know, I visited many of us have visited all the regions, and especially after COVID, and sort of a need for us to come together as a country, as a nation was there. Even after 22, 23, but finally it came together here in the 100th year. And so much has happened to make this conference a reality. Nothing would have been possible without Swami's will. That is the most important thing. Everything else is simply inert instruments. Without him, without his vision, this conference would not have happened. We were all doing a bunch of running around, but it was not really running around. It was him pushing us, go, do this, do that, make this happen. Dallas was already picked probably, but we had a lot of planning into figuring out which city we should have this conference, and we arrived at Dallas, but he already knew that. but he gave us a chance to play along so that we could feel good that we are doing his mission. And we had this wonderful team, the National Council and all the regional presidents. The National Council is made up of all of the national officers and all of the regional presidents. And everyone came together, and you know this thing, Swami says, you take one step and I'll take the rest. It's just like that. We didn't know how it would come together. We didn't know how the agenda would be. We wouldn't know what the venue would be. But we just said, let's just go do it. You know, we already announced there'll be a conference before we even had a venue. But, you know, maybe we took a leaf out of Swami's book. Swami said, there'll be a hospital here, and it happened. So we said that, and then it happened. So I want to, first of all, obviously, be very grateful to Swami for making this happen, but also very grateful to the team that helped put this together, the national team. I'm so fortunate to have such a wonderful team to work with. It's truly a privilege and an inspiration to see how this team works, how they show their commitment to Swami. It's really moving to see that. I enjoy every one of my conversations with the team members. We call up and talk, and then it becomes a mini satsang, a phone call. So many phone calls and so many Zoom meetings or Teams, Microsoft Teams meetings that has happened. You know, it's just so many hours of work that has gone together to make this happen. But without further ado, I would like to invite Alex to come and share, you know, our gratitude to everybody who put this, made this conference happen in the background. Salam, Alex.
Sure. Sairam, everyone. I promise you that this is the last part. Swami says it's extremely important to have the attitude of gratitude. Now, clearly, everything that everyone in this hall and everything that we do in the organization ultimately is in gratitude and offering to him. But of course, we should not forget the instrument. Swami tells us that the instrument is important as well. So many times we have seen Swami being the master of protocol, the master of attention to detail. He himself has set the model as to how each one of these pieces needs to be stitched together and coordinated. From gratitude to gifts to absolutely taking care of every single need of our guests. So we need to also take a page from Swami, a leaf from Swami's book, in understanding how our gratitude should actually be expressed. So in doing so, I want to speak very little. I want to leave you with just a couple of thoughts. And I simply would like to invite, in a second, Brother Mahesh Rege, who is the president of Region 10, as well as Sister Chitra Niranjan, who is the president for the Sri Sathya Sai Center of Dallas. And I would like for them to join me and actually tell you about how is it that they want to express their gratitude to their teams. Because yes, as Brother Harish mentioned, there has been a lot of effort. There has been effort by the national team, by not only the regional presidents, but all the regional teams and the center teams who have actually made this possible. But we know too well that the host team takes a very, very special burden would be the actual word, but in this case we know from the last workshop that sadhana is the real word. Not only individual sadhana, but group sadhana. And I want to tell you that this team, and I have been to many conferences, I have been blessed to organize several conferences, but I can tell you that this team has been nothing short of fantastic. So let's give him the best, biggest round of applause that we can please give. If you could kindly rise and give him a huge, huge applause. as I leave the stage and I leave you with them to acknowledge the teams who made this possible, from the most minute detail to this sprawling, fantastic, I would say very hard to beat facility, as Brother Suresh said, where you can just step out of the plane and be in the facility itself. I want to leave you with one thought, simply rounding up what Brother Harish said. We have had a very fulfilling weekend for ourselves. And Brother Jack, Dr. Jack Feely, also spoke about how is it that we can sustain this feeling going on to the next thing, our Sai Center, our region, whatever it may be. I would like, in the spirit of one of the workshops that we had yesterday, to urge all of us to not only have and keep and continue reinvigorating that feeling for ourselves, but to also extend it to our brothers and sisters all over the world. Because Swami's message to us has been very clear. He has said, I know you have the enthusiasm to take my message to every place, but let me tell you that the best way in which you can share that message is by your own self-transformation. But beyond that, he has said, spread my message to every corner of the world, and the world will transform. Going back to the quote that started our workshop for public outreach, I want to take us back to the very beginning of how this thing that happened today and this movement that is the Sri Sathya Sai organization started when Swami stated his very own mission. He said, I have a task to foster bliss and ananda for all. He said, I have a vow to bring back to all those who stray away from the path back into the path. I have a work that I am attached to, and that is to fulfill the needs of all those who lack, of all those who are poor. I have a reason to be proud. For all those who attach themselves to me, I save outright. And I have my own definition of devotion. Those who attach themselves to me should treat grief and joy with equanimity. But brothers and sisters, do you know what the common thread across that statement is? Swami says, all. I have come for all, not just the devotee. The devotee has a very special place in the heart and in his mission, but I have come for all. The purpose and the objective of the Sri Sathya Sai International Organization is to remind humanity as a whole of the innate divinity that lies within. So I would encourage you that you take this conference today and this inspiration and bring it to everybody around the world. With that, Brother Mahesh, Sister Chitra, the floor is yours.
My humble pranams at Swami's divine lotus feet. First of all, our gratitude to Swami for giving us this opportunity to host this first ever USA conference in our Region 10 in Dallas, Texas. Really humbled by how this vision has turned into a reality simply by His divine grace. And we saw His divine grace right when we started talking about the conference planning, all the way to its implementation, the execution, number of challenges. And Swami threw them at us. So I think it has helped us in our journey of transformation. So really, everything has come together very magically. And I know there's a lot of members of our Region 10 team, the local Sai centers that have been involved for the last several months. But really, I think through this, we've built a great community, one nation, working together towards one mission, towards Swami's mission. And I think we've created something really magical. And I've had the opportunity to talk with some of the external people that came and attended our conference. And when they say how amazed they are at who we are as an organization, what we've put together over the last 3 days, I think we've achieved the objectives of the conference. So really humble gratitude to many, many of you in this room that have helped make this a reality. But I'd like to get into some specifics, some specific teams, and I'm not going to take any names, but just call out teams. And if you've been part of these teams, if you would please stand up so we can recognize you all at the end. So first up was facilities and contracts. If you've been involved in participating on that team, please stand up and maybe remain standing. Yeah. The next team was food. I know a number of people from the food team may not be here because they are arranging lunch outside, but if you can stand up. IT, audio, video, and media teams. Photography, videography. Yeah, anybody from the services teams, putting together the TVs, the exhibition areas, any of that, please stand up. We had the SSE team. They almost had a parallel program, and that was planned over the last 6 months. A lot of effort was put in by them. So SSE teams, please stand up. Next, the program planners for each of the sessions. We had 5 major sessions here, and all of the devotional sessions, the singing, the programs in the evening. If any of you were part of that program planning, please stand up. Also, the people who work tirelessly behind with the tech teams, the IT teams, the tech teams, you have really, really done a marvelous job with all these TVs and media and all of that. And one set of people I'd like to call upon, they're not here in the room with us, but just the facility team, this hotel, was a great partner. And through this journey, as we worked through the hotel, I think it was almost like an outreach activity. They got to know about us, and this was, I think, a great example of our community outreach. We got to share a lot about who we are, what we represent, how we work, and we've got a lot of accolades from their organization, and they've given us a number of concessions during our stay here, simply because of who we are, what we represent, and what we've set out to do. So gratitude to them, although they are not present in the room with us here today. Thank you. And I think most important of all, this conference, I think we can plan all these big events, we can have all the facilities, all the teams together, but I think what makes it more special is when we pack the hall with people. So I think we had probably 700 plus people signed up for this conference. So thanks to each and every one of you for making it to this conference and making this a reality. Sister Chitra, any words? And I'd also like to share that Dallas Center, particularly, one of the largest centers in USA, I think we've got tremendous amount of support and backing through all the members in the Dallas Eye Center. That's why this seemed really seamless. Sister Chitra.
Thank you, Swami, for getting us here. for starting this planning and for all the journey and being here together with all of you, learning and growing with all of you. I always start with thanks to the altar team. You know why? That's the one thing that anchors us to the theme and why we are here. So I would humbly request Brother Nirup Bhai, can you please come in the front? Navli, can you please stand up? Is Veena Ben here? So this team is very special for Dallas Eye Center because they have been doing altars for decades. But this time it was also very special because they did a double duty. We had a very grand Guru Purnima celebration. So they did the altar there and then they came and did the altar here. So it was not an easy task. So thank you so much, altar team. And there are other people who always work behind the scenes to make the altar happen. So thank you so much. And the banner that you all see here, and then all the flex banner, the way it has been mounted, it happened because of Brother Prashant Kulkarni. He's not here, but a very last minute call, desperate call, just saying, hey, we have a flex banner. We don't know how to do it. He supports the center largely, but he's not that your usual member comes for all sevas, all devotion, but you call him, he's there, a true sevak. So he was here with us, did everything like, I believe it took many hours. Brother Shiva knows this, so many hours, but he made it happen, and thanks to him, that bus is also going back with him to make sure that we are repurposing it well. So thanks to Brother Prashant Kulkarni and Sister Radhika Kulkarni for stepping in and saving us. And the next is always, of course, we talked about the devotional aspect and the anchoring. After comes the Bhojanam, the food part. How was the food? Thank you. It was our wonderful food partner, Savai Catering. A lot of people were asking me. I said, I don't have time to. I will probably announce the name or something. But more than the catering part, I think she came with a heart. The Thursday food was completely sponsored free. She knew our organization. She knew who we were. She just said, we will do it for you. No problem. Whatever we asked, like Kaylee and team like here, whatever we asked, she was very, very accommodative. Last minute chai, she said, no problem, I'll get it. So we really thank Priya Ben from Savai. I don't think she's in the building, but we thank her too for doing this for us. And is the transport team here? Is Jignesh Bhai here? Yes, thank you. So that's a one-man army who kind of made sure that like if anybody had transport needs and other things, he made sure he coordinated it so well. And that's the same request for all of you with all the storm issues, anything going on. Anybody has delays, you can reach out to me directly. We'll make sure there are 20-25 families ready to host. Any of you have flight delays, you have any issues, we are here to make sure that you board your flight safely and without delay. So please check your flight status. Make sure that you're on time. If you're delayed, we'll be here with you, either in the airport, delivering food, or we'll take you back home, host you, and we'll send you back tomorrow. You get to stay one more day with us, by the way. So, all right. I'm only holding the mic here, right? There are hundreds of people behind this. Literally 181 people from Dallas Eye Center showed up for the national conference. But other 100 was also working for the past 6 months behind the scenes. And my service and partner is Brother Sunil Bhai Patel. If you can please get up.
Yes.
Oh, you know the guy. He served food, right? That's why. He's very famous, yeah. Yes, I'm coming to that. Yes. So the entire food committee and all the people from all the regions, we had like 200 volunteers, somebody who wanted to come and serve the food. I hope everybody had an opportunity to come and serve and enjoyed that seva. And it was amazing how we as Sai Sevaks, we focused on service. Everybody wanted to come and do something. They were like, Aparna was telling a story. I had a very touching story too, where somebody who did not register, she registered, she said, I'm registering on Saturday morning, but you have to give me some work. Then I'm coming. So both the husband and wife, they came, they did the transport seva, they served in the food seva. So These instruments inspire us to do better in life. So thank you for all the Dallas volunteers who stood behind us and make us look proud. I'm representing all of you. Thank you, Swami, for bringing us here. Thank you.
And thank you, Sister Chitra. Thank you, Brother Mahesh. And with that, I would be remiss not to end by reminding you about the fact that now the national team with this wonderful conference passes the baton to the international team, but also to the national team, because this international conference that will take place in Riverside, California, for which I am sure all of you have already booked your tickets and registered, will also be part of the planning of this conference. So with that said, we look forward to seeing you in California for 5 blissful days where you will meet people from 40 different countries. And with that, we thank once again our most beloved Swami for his hand, for every thought, word, and deed in making this conference a reality. We wish you safe travels, and we'll see you soon. Jai Sai Ram.